All right, let's go ahead and get started. Hello and good evening, everyone. We are back in some Night Call. This is the fourth night that we are playing it. Well, fourth stream, maybe I should say, since nights are a thing in the game. And we will be finishing up the second part of the second story. So, and it's supposed to be more difficult than the first one. Was really the biggest detail, if I remember right. But it's pretty similar. It's just like the motives and stuff that are different from the first one. And then the last one is supposed to be a very like twisted and dark story, so that'll be interesting to explore that later. So I think we're gonna end up doing all three of them, because why not, I guess? I think everybody's really enjoying it, so I think we'll end up doing all three. Continue, night 3. And there's 6 nights and we're on night 3. I think we completed night 3. Yeah, here we go. Let me get a little drink of water here. Make sure that my whistle is wet for the reading. All right. You take a few minutes to update your board with new clues. Steps in the hallway. They stop in front of your door, then move away. You glance at your bed and get to work. Oh yeah, I forgot. The crazy Jesus girl. Yeah, I forgot about some of this. I think I had already organized this last time, but it's okay. Victim to receive death threats. He watches you. Was it Jesus watches? Jesus being hardcore, man. Victim 1 hero, loved by everyone. Jonas equal dangerous man. Killer targeted political activists. Killer is short. I wish they gave me more space, man. Or less pointless seeming clues. Some of them seem pointless, so. But that's okay. We got it organized. We can see it all. It's okay. So yeah, let's go over our people here again. We got Gilda Berger. She is a crazy Jesus lady. She seems to think she talks to Jesus, like constantly, and just has conversations with him or whatever. And yeah, she doesn't really seem like she's all there with how she also just presents herself in general. She was hospitalized after her mother's death. Difficult relationship with her dad. Also working at the opera. Oh yeah, she works at the opera. Catholic and a member of the Korean community in Paris. All right, we got Jonas Pearson, if I remember right. Jonas, he is a programmer and he believes that everything is a simulation, like our existence or whatever. Reality is a simulation. And he has he's a group. Yeah, he's a leader of a dark web group. Yes, it's all about trying to prove that life is a simulation. And so there's like a little bit of like, oh well, maybe he's proven by killing people, but I don't think there's a real strong connection there because of the messages that were left at the scene of the crime. Only one God, he watches you. Yeah. So the messages that are left to see in the crime really seem to paint someone who's very religious, and she is like very much so. So that's who we've all been suspecting so far. And there's old Harvey. Harvey is always a suspect for some reason. He has been pretty suspicious this time, but not really in relation to the murder mystery or whatever. He's not the murderer. I mean, we know that. I think that's pretty much a given there. But it might be one of those things where the third story, maybe he is the murderer, and maybe we've been like hearing about his, like we've been helping him get away from murders the entire time on the third story. That'd be a pretty cool way to tell a story with this. Then there's Apolline. She has had relations with 2 of the victims. Yeah, these 2. 1 and 2. She's a member of the Moonflesh cult, which are basically a bunch of hippies, from what the game has described them as. Even using the word hippie, I believe. So there's that. Oh, and she's a vampire? Or she thinks she is, and victim 2 had garlic in her hand. So I don't really think that's a huge connection there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really think that's a strong evidence. And then we had Pierrette. She was the chef, and she's also part of the Moonflesh cult. That's right. Actress when she was younger in financial troubles. I just remember her being like sad or something, right? She didn't say anything about your scar. Oh yeah, we had dinner with her. That's right. And she didn't murder us, so I mean that's pretty good. Right? It's always good not to be murdered. Alright, and let's go ahead and end the night. The phone rings and you jump. You're not used to hearing it. No one ever calls you. It must be Busset. I'll pick it up. She might have some info. You pick up. Busset sounds irritated. You there? Yeah. Listen, it's... She pauses. You suddenly hear a ruckus in the background. Probably noise at the station. Busset raises her voice. Anyone got the time? Hey, guys, anyone? Fuck, they're all Neanderthals here. Listen, it's really early and I'm wiped out. So are you, I bet. Let's get straight to the point. What do you have for me? In a calm and methodical voice, you start giving her evidence you collected. You start with the first suspect, their connection to the victims, the rumors, then the second suspect, and so on. A few minutes in, she lets out a whistle. Not bad at all, seriously. You should come give a lesson to the zombies I work with. A long sigh. I have some good news for you. We checked the alibi of one of the suspects I gave you. As you listen to her, you turn to the board and pull down the suspect she's referring to. So, it's gotta be someone else. She snickers. You know how lucky you are? I'm doing your job for you, pal. Okay, enough chit-chat. Gotta run. I'll call you in 3 days, okay? Understood. Good dog. I'll call you in 3 days and you better have what I need to make a proper arrest. The DA has fangs. We're pretty sure he's going to turn into a werewolf at some point. She babbles on for a while. Her voice becomes softer, but just as sarcastic. That would explain his terrible breath. Okay, I'm out. She hangs up. You hold the handset to your ear for a while. You have just one thing in mind, sleeping. And forgetting it all. So we took someone down. Harvey, yes. Harvey's fine. We already knew that, but at least now it is confirmed. Not gonna be some weird twist where it's Harvey. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You open the sofa bed and lie down. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. You open one eye. For a second there, you hoped the evidence board was just a dream too, but you make it out in the shadows. You get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside your studio. Okay. What do we got? I mean, we're pretty sure we know who it is. Wasn't that hard, though? I said it was supposed to be harder. I don't know, it seems pretty obvious, so hopefully we'll get some evidence. We have no suspects that we can give a ride to. We have a full tank of gas, so let's just make some money and pick the closest person up. Port Marriott in the 17th. Thanks. Oh, it's two people. Lucy and Emile. The two women getting in the cab give you their address. They say nothing as you start the car. A faint scent of alcohol hangs in the air. They've been drinking. After a moment's silence, the younger of the two breaks the silence. So, what do you think? About him? Who else, of course? Him, not the bar. Well, I'm not sure. A strange sound escapes her. She sighs. He seems pretty dumb. Dumb? How so? You know, dumb as a doornail. All that staring at himself in the mirror over the bar when he went to get drinks. But does that matter? No, not really. He's got a good body, good looking, lots of energy. He's got a sort of animal vibe, like a little like a panther. I really like that style. You really like that style? The passengers exchange a look. The older of the two gives her friend a smile. You know exactly what I mean. They reach for each other's hand in the back seat of the car. The gesture is full of tenderness. A moment's silence. The older woman clears her throat. What about you? What did you think of him? The young woman gives herself a minute to think. I don't know. He was heavy, too sure of himself, and he spends too much time at the gym. Did you get that bit about? Yeah, please. That innuendo about sexual performance? A short, mocking laugh escapes her. He was pretty heavy-handed with all of his expertise in yoga and orgasms. True, though strong pelvic floor muscles can't hurt. Well, anyhow, he was all preachy. He should write a book, The Perfect Gift for an Ex-Husband. They burst out laughing. When the laughter dies down, the younger of the two resumes talking in a more serious tone. Anyhow, like I was saying... She looks at her friend intently. Is it really that important? I mean, we're looking for a donor. Not a father, not a lover, not a guardian or a godfather. Nothing but a donor. Yeah, just a donor. She casts a glance in your direction, conscious all of a sudden that they aren't alone in the cab. She goes on, lowering her voice. Yes, but still. If he had been a date, I think I would have been out there in 5 minutes flat. I do yoga. I meditate 6 hours a day. I went to Tibet to learn the ancient art of... And serfdom did exist in Tibet before the 1950s. I checked on Wikipedia. I thought Buddhists were supposed to be curious and open-minded. He was like some old conservative dude in the body of a young Brad Pitt. Pause again. But like you were saying, does it all really matter? Her friend nods. The two young women are lost in their respective thoughts. You know, I'm not against that kind of stuff or anything. It's up to him. If he wants to be a drag with all that yoga and meditation bullshit, I don't have a problem with that. She gives her girlfriend a reassuring look. Anyhow, there's no way any of that is going to be passed on to our daughter. Or our son. Her friend flashes her a big smile. But it's going to be a girl, and I can feel it. And yoga, it's not genetic. We'll have to ask Dr. Vidal. Yes, I bet he'd really love that. He'll think we're messing with him. He said we could ask him anything. He's going to take us for a couple of idiots. Besides, it's impossible. Pompousness cannot be passed on to children. The younger woman doesn't seem convinced and makes an exaggerated pout. So you're saying an ear for music, yes, that's passed on, but pretentiousness isn't? Exactly. Okay, so if you don't want to believe me... She leans towards you all of a sudden. Sorry to bother you, but did you hear what we were just talking about? Yes, I did. No need to feel embarrassed or anything. We're talking out loud after all. Her friend lets out a sigh. Come on, leave him alone. I was just asking. Well, right, so my wife and I are meeting potential donors in order to conceive a baby. Her partner rolls her eyes. And we were wondering if you thought pretentiousness could be passed on to children. Genetically. You give her a look in the rearview mirror and take a moment to answer. The question is so utterly absurd. Leave him alone, Emil. He's a taxi driver, not a geneticist. Don't get all worked up about it. It's just asking his opinion. Yes, I'd say it's possible. No, it's impossible. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess it could be possible. I don't know. Is that nature or nurture? You know what I mean? I think that's the question, right? If it's nature, then it was genetics. If it's nurture, then it's the way you were raised. I feel like it's a monkey see, monkey do type of thing. So to me, it's more like a nurture. But I don't know. Not sure. What's up, Charlotte? How you doing? Never nature. So we'll say no, it's impossible. Because it's more of a learned thing, probably. Pretentiousness. Inflated self-worth. Delusions of grandeur. Good, got my teeth cleaned and now I can't type. Right on. Clean teeth is a good feeling, isn't it? So nice. Just to be like completely refreshed in your mouth. I'm doing good. Having a good time with this so far. This is our first passengers here. These two ladies who are looking for a potential donor, and they were out with some, I don't know, maybe some bro guy. Kind of sounded like, I don't know. He's really into yoga. He was just really pretentious, I guess. I like my shirt. Thank you. This is from a YouTube group that I used to watch called Screw Attack. This is their 10th year anniversary shirt. I really liked it as well. I like how the generic it looks. Anytime I buy merch from a group on YouTube or like a streamer or whatever, I always tend to like find a shirt that just looks good by itself, and you don't have to know what it's referencing to like it. Like you just said, you like my shirt, so like I think it's cool too. I think it's a cool logo. So the only thing that really shows is Screw Attack, and this is their logo right there. What makes the 10? Yeah, right. It's really cool. Yeah. I think it'd be cool if we could figure out something like that for the merch. That would be pretty cool too. I'm gonna say no, it's impossible. The passenger flops back onto the car seat. So the answer is no, isn't it? Is it? You're no fun. Seriously, we should have taken another cab, driven by a genetics expert. She burst out laughing. The younger passenger leans forward towards you. Sorry. My partner doesn't mean anything by all that. We've had a bit to drink, and it's the first time for us tonight. We're meeting donors. You pull up to the client's address and cut the engine. Be understanding, be embarrassed to answer. I'm gonna be understanding. No problem. The passenger seems relieved. I'm a cab driver. I'm used to all kinds of funny stuff. Yeah, we've seen way worse than a cab. I mean, come on. I can imagine. Have you been driving a cab for long? You avoid her eye. Yeah, you could say that. About 3 weeks now. This is the 4th week. Talking about how many times we've streamed this. The passenger pays for the ride. She lets out a sudden guffaw and can't help adding. Anyhow, thanks for answering. Come on, Emil, that's enough. As her friend tugs at her arm, Emil starts to mumble to herself. I definitely think we should ask the doctor, just in case. We need a second opinion. You wait until the two women have entered the building, then start the car. I like that he waits for people to like get to their destination completely. Just in case somebody tries to come out and stab them. Or whatever, you know. Alright, we got any suspicious suspects? Some susses? Oh yeah, this way's nice. You can tell he cares about people. I really want to pick this TV dude up sometime. This seems like it would be a crazy one. I guess I got the gas and the time. Let's go for it. TV man, I'm your guy, your taxi. Don't be a fool, ride with Abdul. Any susses? What mystery are we solving? Is it another murder? Yeah, it's another murder. It's very similar. They said they call it the Angel Dust murder, or Angel something murder. So they have a different name for them, and the clues are different. So the suspects are all different as well. It's supposed to be more difficult, but everything is piled against this girl who's like very religious and kind of crazy. She's like is talking to Jesus all the time. Like she was riding in my taxi with Jesus and was talking about what Jesus was saying about me and stuff. And so, and she seems, I can't remember exactly what she said that made her seem like she was probably going to be the murderer in the taxi, but she definitely was just like super suspicious. And like all of the messages that were written in blood on the scenes of the crime were like about how there's only one God and he watches you. So it's like she's the only religious one on the list too. So definitely piling up against her. Yeah, regular old Bible thumper. You know, yeah, she's thumping them to death with her Bible apparently. So we have Ada LV 426. I'm going to Gare Montparnasse. Montparnasse. All right, I got a robot voice for this one. Okay, I should be ready with my robot voice for this. Death by Bible. Whoa, dude. Whoa, bro. The passenger who gets in the cab is, well, she isn't human. Her face lights up and gives you quite a start.
Good evening. My name is Ada. I am a automated attendant.
Good evening, Ada. Also, if I may, the new voices were such a great choice. No, thank you. Do you mean like the effects? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, here we go.
It's a pleasure to meet you. You are a cab driver and I need to go somewhere. Will you please take me to Gare Montparnasse?
Give a slow nod of consent. Nice. Yeah, I love them, right? They're so great. I need to see if I can keep adding more and more. I think I need to add variations. Like when we have the deep voice, I should have like deep voice with reverb as like an option as well. And see if I can't get some more variation in there. Because yeah, I think it's been a lot of fun watching the streams back. I like to go back and see what that was like for you guys, and it does turn out to be really cool for you. The deep voice for the Mario villains mixed with some of your own are dope. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and seeing I can still use my little variations to give more, you know, flavor or whatever you want to call it.
Good, that's settled. So, I'd like to go to Gare Montparnasse, please.
You start the car, casting the occasional furtive glance into the rearview mirror. There's something about her attitude that's bothering you. Perhaps it's her oversized fingers bending every which way.
You seem disconcerted, sir. How very unfortunate. Is there anything I can do to make you more comfortable?
You don't know exactly where to look. Her screen, the face on her screen, her hands. Ask how she guessed, ask where she is from, ask why she's going to Montparnasse. It's called flavor, yeah, there you go. Ask where she is from. Where were you?
Built. Designed.
She automatically completes your sentence.
Forgive me, please. I have the unfortunate habit of cutting people off.
A flash of her screen seems to indicate she's sorry.
I was designed and programmed at the Marie Curie Institute by a team of researchers of diverse cultural and ethnic backgrounds, including...
She starts reading off a list of names of people you've never heard of. The list is in alphabetical order. Alright, God, I'm not interested. I'm gonna let her finish. I'm gonna let you finish. When she's done with her list, a full 60 seconds later, you can feel your eyelids starting to droop. It sure is a lot of people.
And I think highly of each and every one of them. They are all experts in their respective fields.
You stifle a yawn. I'm sure they are.
Except for two who spend far too much time in the storeroom. But I would rather not reveal their names because my sensors tell me they're having extramarital sex.
Oh, right.
Let's just call them Mathis R and Megan H.
Or Matthias, I guess is what it was. You're right. It's like, definitely take a turn real quick, didn't it? A moment later, your passenger has switched into introduction mode.
My name is Ada, named after Ada Lovelace, and I am programmed to help you.
Her voice trails off, as if she were actually hesitant.
Although,
After a momentary confusion of beeping and flickering, she sits bolt upright.
that's all. That's why I'm going to Montparnasse.
Okay, she thought that she had just explained that and just went into like, oh, okay, end of sentence mode or whatever. Ask how she guessed. Well, I'm gonna ask why she's going now. She actually tells me. I was just wondering, why are you?
Why am I going to Gar Montparnasse?
She stops short, where she's cutting you off again.
I'm sorry. I'll have to adjust my behavior to make sure it doesn't happen again.
A car goes zooming past. Your passenger follows it with her eyes.
Rear wheels need a new brake pads.
She swivels back around and looks at you.
I'm going to Montparnasse to carry out an experiment to improve my integrated development environment.
I was just wondering, why are you?
Why am I going to Gar Montparnasse?
Wait, did I just click on that again on accident? Oh, maybe I accidentally clicked. Swivel back and looks at me. Carry out an experiment to improve my environment.
Oh, there we go. I'm live.
I don't know why that looped twice.
I am Ada, and I am automatic attendant, but I am running away. I am going someplace far away, far from the lab, far from Matthias and Megan.
A hint of emotion in her automated voice. She breaks off.
I am treated well. I am carefully designed precision device, and yet I don't know what my end purpose is.
And purpose? Aren't you supposed to help people? Let her continue. Yeah, imagine building robot runs away. Short Circuit. You remember that movie? Yeah, it's like a robot that runs away. Yeah, wouldn't that be crazy? One of my favorite robot stories was from iRobot, where it's one of the shorts where these guys there's this mining facility on this asteroid. I'm trying to broad strokes this, and they build this robot who's supposed to be the manager robot that handles like all of the logistics, like high level logistics that a human's doing right now, and it'll get the last human off of that mining asteroid or whatever, so that it'll all be automated. But when they build the robot and they explain to the robot that they just built it and this is its job, it looks at him and it's like, you expect me to believe that you guys built me? And then it creates its own like religion with all the other robots and stuff, and just based on what it has seen around itself and its like understanding of reality. And it's really interesting. But yeah, it's just cool because like as soon as they build a robot and turn it on, it will not believe them that they could even have the ability to build it. And it's just like, that's cool, very interesting. I was just googling it because I couldn't think of the name of the robot in Short Circuit. Oh, was it Johnny 5? Johnny 5 from Short Circuit? Something like that, right? I could be wrong. Maybe that's a different robot. All right, let's see. Aren't you supposed to help people? That's it, am I right? Nice.
No. That is to say, yes, I was designed to be an assistant, but how can I explain? I know. I'll give you my life story. Although my data tells me cab drivers don't usually like hearing them.
Your face creases into a smile.
When they designed me, my source code was written to include literature. Emily Zola, Virginia Woolf, Isaac Asimov,
He wrote I, Robot.
Max Gallo, and Margaret Sinar. I could not say that name. A bit of everything so I could develop a sense of cultural belonging, but also learn from the past and fine-tune my reactions. The thing is, learning from the past inevitably opens a window onto the future. I am an automated attendant designed to improve people's lives. The truth is, however, I will eventually destroy them.
Like in Terminator? Like in The Matrix? What do you mean by destroy them? I'm not afraid of you. Johnny Five Alive. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna say, what do you mean by destroy them? Because I don't want to make any implications with The Matrix and Terminator. I would rather try to be peaceful with this robot. What do you mean by destroy them? Your passenger smiles, perhaps amused or simply happy to talk.
We were designed to help you, to eliminate the boredom and inconvenience of certain tasks, the work that deadens you. And yet, our existence and popularity is calling into question your very existence. I'm talking about you, the cab drivers, garbage collectors, architects, musicians, cashiers, programmers, politicians. We will make anyone who produces anything obsolete, useless, redundant. Only the independently wealthy and billionaires will remain. Imagine having slaves that don't need to be fed and trained. You took history classes, didn't you?
I'm just gonna nod, yeah. Go on, go on. Your passenger continues her story, her voice tinged with an odd, unpleasant note. You never thought the day would come when a machine would condescend to you, or condescend, yeah, to you, and yet...
Human society is governed by the need to rationalize its workforce. Issues of era, regime, and culture aside, it's a basic law of nature. The stage is set by questions of economy. And that's why
You pull up to Gar Montparnasse.
I have to disappear, me and all of my kind, so I've stolen the plans and destroyed all the data on me.
Banknotes have appeared in her hand, as if by magic. She hands you the fare.
Because your salvation depends on my disappearing. Well, anyhow, goodbye, and good luck to you. Don't forget what I've told you about us, and start investing in your own.
The machine climbs out of the cab and makes its way over to the station. No one seems to notice her. A moment later, she's gone. You sit there a while, unsettled, on edge. At times like these, there's only one thing to do. You roll down the window. The cold air of Paris bites your face, and you gulp into the fine particles and diesel exhaust. You start up the cab. What? Runaway robot only tipped me $3. Come on now. Alright. Oh. Yeah, robot's a bad tipper. Yeah, the couple looking for donors, they tip more than that robot. Man, the robot sent me right back down here too. Okay. So we got any susses? Sus? No. Guess we'll just make some more money and pick this gal up. Was the robot voice pretty easy to understand? Was it intelligible? I hope it was. Annabelle Robert. Charles de Gaulle Airport, please. Yeah, it was? Okay, cool. It was good? Nice. Yeah, good to see you, Ann. What's up? Your passenger slips into the back seat, dragging a backpack that apparently weighs a ton. Do you want to put that in the trunk? He refuses politely, with a shake of the head. Thanks, but I'm going to have to get used to keeping it with me. It's going to be on my back for an entire month. You smile and start the cab. A glance in the rearview mirror. Your passenger is rather young, and the camera around her neck looks very expensive. Her backpack, scarf, and clothes are fairly worn. Say, where are you heading? She doesn't answer right away. She lowers her eyes. I'm on my way to Greece to join the NGO rescue vessel. An NGO? An association, that is, that helps migrants trying to make their crossing. And I'm going to do a story on them. Oh, are you a journalist? She smiles. The first since you set off. Yes, photojournalist. I imagine it's going to be pretty tough. They make the crossing even in winter. Isn't that dangerous? I imagine that's going to be pretty tough. Tough, yes. It's going to be very hard. But I want to do it. I volunteered. I even made a fuss to get the assignment. Her tone of voice is increasingly shrill. I read first-hand accounts. I talked to journalists who have worked on the subject. I can't just ignore the whole thing. She gives a short laugh. I even played a video game about refugees. Beautifully done. Really powerful. I knew I couldn't just sit back and watch. This was my chance to show the world what's going on there. Your passenger's phone starts to ring. Oh, sorry, As she glances at the caller name, her face freezes. She sighs, a troubled smile flickering across her face, then takes the call. Hi, Dad. I'm in the cab. Right. Yeah, I told you. I tried, but he wouldn't change his mind. Come on, Dad. I already told you, I'll be fine. They won't be sending me if there were... She moves the phone a bit farther from her ear. Come on, Dad. Stop. Dad. Listen, everything's going to be fine. I'll be there for 20 days with a group of professionals who have been doing this for years. That's right, a group of rescue professionals. Would you just stop? She sighs heavily. It's no use. She's been down this road 1,000 times. I don't know if I can help her out, but let's help her out. We're about to get to a tunnel, mademoiselle. You're going to cut out. The young woman looks up at you in surprise, then her face lights up. Did you hear that? I have to go. I'll call you back as soon as I'm... She's interrupted again. That's right, I'll call back. She hangs up, wide-eyed, and breathes a long sigh. My parents, they can be a little much at times. She smiles. Anyhow, thanks for jumping in there. You can sense the tension, the wave of frustration and anxiety welling up inside of her. Her unhappiness and anxiety are palpable. She closes her eyes, collecting her thoughts, trying to dispel her negative emotions. If you only had a little time, or if I only had a little time, is there anything I can do to help? Time for what? Are you okay? Is there anything I can do to help? No, thank you. I'll be fine. You already got me out of that never-ending conversation. I was just thinking that I'd like to be able to do a little yoga. There's a lot of yoga in this episode tonight. It really helps me relax. It's an amazing way to unwind, to calm down and release tension. There must be a yoga room somewhere in the airport. I can pull over if you'd like. We're almost there. pull over if you'd like. Like, so she can do yoga somewhere? Also, I guess that's well said. She looks at you closely, not sure what to think. Now, what do you mean? There's a gas station up ahead, a rest area for truck drivers. There won't be anyone there right now. Alright, sure, why not? There's no more talk for a few minutes. Your passenger glances out the window every now and then. You drive past the gas station, the main building, the trucks, then get to a small, quiet rest area. A clearing, lit up by your headlights, and the moon suddenly appears. There is no one around. The air is cool. The young woman leans in towards you. Is this the place? You nod. It's incredibly calm, as if we were in the middle of the woods. Her eyes take in every detail, every tree and bush. Do you come here often? Every now and then, it's perfectly safe, whenever I can. Say nothing. I'll say whenever I can. She nods. She understands. It's so quiet. Even in the middle of winter, it looks so peaceful. She reaches for the door handle. You won't leave without me, will you? Of course not. She gets out of the cab and puts her things on a picnic table. The wind is chilly. She shivers. She gives you one last look, then closes her eyes. For a minute or two, you watch her doing yoga exercises. Her eyes remain closed. Her face gradually starts to relax. A truck behind you pulls out of the rest area. This place has a calming effect on you, too. Some summer nights, you come here and take a nap. The young woman is stretching now. The headlights cast soft shadows among the dark foliage. In the winter, you smoke a cigarette or two, waiting for potential clients to land. The young woman gets back into the cab. She says nothing. There's no need. You sense she's recovered her calm and is ready to face the rest of her journey. You drive away, leaving behind the clearing, the rest area, the gas station. The young woman is sleeping. The road keeps passing by, and before long, you're approaching the airport. A moment later, you turn down the radio. The song fades. I'll pull up over here. It'll be easier for you to get out of the cab. You get to the airport drop-off zone. A couple of colleagues greet you with a wave. A few bleak-looking passengers are struggling with huge suitcases in their car trunks. A security guard sitting on a luggage cart smokes a cigarette, clearly exhausted. Your passenger pays the fare, collects her things, but doesn't leave the cab. Thank you for getting me out of that horrible phone call. I love my parents, but they are suffocating. You could have gone for hours. So, thank you. I have to go now. I had the feeling my parents are going to call again. Might as well go in where it's warm and not a disturbance. Good luck with everything. Have a good flight. Take good care of yourself. Nod. So take good care of yourself. I will. Promise. She gets out of the cab with all her gear. Her eye follows her as she heads to the terminal. Yeah, take good care. Yeah, you agree, Charlie? The airport door is closed behind her. You sit there a minute or two, all by yourself. There's no one around. May as well head out as soon as possible. Ooh, $18. A-cha-ching! Making a lot of money tonight. Not getting many clues, though. So we got halfway through the night. A single suspect has popped up. Still no suspects. Guess we got enough clues for now. I mean, we still got 2 more nights, so it's not too big a deal, but hoping to get some info. I'll try this person. I think I recognize them. Yeah, nice yoga paid off. Hell yeah. Lola Hopkins. Your next passenger is heavily pregnant. You go to help her inside, but she waves you away with a hand. I'm fine. Judging from her accent, she's not from Paris, not from France, English, or maybe American. Things just take a bit longer these days. She settles in, adjusting her coat around her huge belly. You get on the accelerator and set off. Instinctively, you find yourself driving more deliberately, not slower. Just carefully. You regard the woman in the mirror. She's staring out of the window with a thousand-yard stare, her hands wringing themselves around each other like a fistful of snakes. Now, your French is pretty good. She glances at the back of your head. I know. Damn. Where are you from? She sighs deeply. It's obviously not the first time she's heard the question. I'm from the UK. Wait, Manchester. I'm from Manchester. I mean, that's in the UK, but the distinction is important, especially these days. Say the UK and everyone assumes you're from London. I fucking hate London. You've driven a fair few British people over the years. Most of them speak a word of French. Many had an odd sense of pride in their lack of language ability. But, accent aside, the young woman behind you is fluent. I didn't mean to offend. She looks away from the window and into your eyes. You try a smile. Her face softens. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you get used to it. There's worse things you could have opened with. She shifts uncomfortably. How far along are you? I don't know much about Manchester. See anything? There's a smiley face next to this, so I'm gonna go with that one. How far along are you? Normal for cabbies to ask extremely personal questions from the get-go? Yeah, I was wondering if that was a really personal question. But add the smiley face. You shrug. Some people like to talk. Helps their eye pass quicker. Does it now? She squirms a little. A small grimace passing over her face. 7 months. Fuck, feels more like 17. You any idea how hard it is going for a piss in a crowded shopping center, carrying another human around like a fucking personal bus service? Another human whose favorite pastime just so happens to be giving your bladder a swift kick every 20 minutes? She blows out a sigh. It sounds like hot air escaping a kettle. It's pretty fucking hard. Her tone is harsh, but looking back at you see her hand stroking her belly, and a small smile linger briefly on her lips. She's a feisty one, that's for sure. And that's her French side. She's half French? Not sure if it's half. I'm the one doing the heavy lifting. But it's definitely a good third or so, yeah. That's why I'm over here. Ahmed insisted a little bugger pops out over here. Gets herself an EU passport. The smile on her face dies in place, and she stares out the window again. And he needed to get out of the UK after everything that happened. You didn't like it there? You mean the political situation? Because there is some stuff happening in politics. Can't remember what it was, but let's go with that. She sighs. Fucking Brexit. Let's drink Brexit. As soon as she's spoken, her mouth folds into an O, and a groan spills from her throat. I swear every time I talk about Brexit. Another grimace. She kicks the shit out of my fucking womb. She rubs her belly and mumbles a few soothing words. After a moment, she returns her attention to you. But yeah, fucking B-word. I mean, no one thought it was actually going to happen. You'd see the campaigners out in the streets, remain and leave. You'd pass them off as fanatics or something. I wasn't into politics, but when it's on the news every night, something leaks through. Something gets you thinking. Ahmed was more into it than I was, kept bringing home these flyers, blue for remain, red for leave. Like it was a fucking primary school popularity contest or something. You look back and notice her hand go to her mouth. She starts plucking nervously at her bottom lip. Must have been scary. Looked insane. Say nothing. Must have been scary? Nothing was ever positive. Every argument, every headline, non-stop fucking negativity. Fucked if we stay, fucked if we leave. Promises from every side, numbers, predictions, posters, billboards. A few weeks before the vote, no word of a lie, the whole fucking city felt like a bomb about to explode. People at work kept getting into slanging matches about this bit or that bit. How could you possibly think versus you don't know what you're talking about? When the result came back, there was about 20 minutes of celebration. Then the brakes kicked on something harsh. Walking to work that morning, you couldn't help but judge everyone. Like, I wonder which way she voted. There was a couple of fights at work, like proper fights, fists swinging all over the place. There's one thing insecure fucking men need is something to throw punches about. How did you feel? How did your partner take it? But how did you feel? She's the one in the car. Like everyone else, I suppose. Confused. Scared. By the afternoon, you could see none of the fucks in London knew what to do. Did you see those leave cunts on TV? Supposed to be jumping up and down about winning, and they're stood there looking like they shat in the bed? Which was, you know, ironic, because that's exactly what they did. Now we're God knows how many months since the fuck calls happened, except everyone's even more scared. Things got real bad after. Ahmed went a few run-ins with Brexiters, you know, the hardline knobs with Union Jack hoodies and Winston Churchill tattoos. Most just told him to fuck off home. He could deal with that. He had the same over here. But one group. We were together one time and a group of them told me to fuck off with him. Called me a traitor. Idiots squared up on them. Things got tense. First time I'd ever been glad to see a copper. So yeah, we fucked off. Wasn't worth it over there. Ahmed's jobs had dried up anyway. No one wanted to hire a foreigner. Been staying with his lot over here ever since. Spare room. His mom don't speak a word of the Queens, but her dad tries, bless him. They loved baked beans. They love baked beans. She smiles to herself. But now this one's almost here. I don't know. I don't fucking know. She shifts again, the seat creaking under her weight. That's a sound you seldom hear. What would you have done? I mean, if you lot have ever have a Frexit vote or something, how would you vote? Vote to remain, vote to leave, I don't know, vote to remain. The EU isn't perfect, it's pretty bad actually, from what I've heard. But division isn't an answer, it's a statement. And the people behind such statements have their own goals. Goals that aren't any billboards or flyers. Yeah, Frexit, right? Isn't that great? Your answer seems to shake your passenger. She tugs her lip aggressively and her other hand balls itself into a fist. She sniffs. Everyone was so scared. After the vote, yeah, but before and all. We had the Remain side telling us how fucked we were if we left. The Leavers telling us how fucked we'd be if we stayed. But I saw Mom raise me and my brother on nothing. Nothing. Benefits didn't amount to anything. No one wanted to help a black single mother provide for her kids. And then we get these fuckers turning up at our house telling us how much worse off we'd be if we leave. I mean, how much worse could it have got? When you're in the shit, change becomes very fucking attractive. If you had people offering you the same old, and others pushing for something new, promising change and a new start, how the fuck do you think you're gonna vote when the same old ain't giving you shit? You voted to leave, but your partner is French. So I'm gonna ask her, so you voted to leave? That's what she's saying. What else was I gonna do? She sucks a gallon of air into her lungs and continues. Before the vote, it was all about making your own laws again, stopping people 2,000 miles away from telling us how to live. Her accent thickens as her voice cracks. We're about making sure we were looked after, you know? Mom's almost on her pension. I just want to do the best by her. There was no talk of stopping anyone who made English living there. Weren't about that to me. She sniffs again. Now it's all fucked. We pull up to her destination. She fumbles her fare over to you. Sorry about all that. No problem, I understand. Stress is bad for the baby. I'll say no problem, I understand, because I feel like that's just, I don't know, not necessarily the nicest thing to say. That tell her how to live her life, you know? I don't know. Yeah. At least over here, everything's, well, over there. I don't have to think about it every fucking moment. I never told Ahmed that I, you know, voted the way I did. He wouldn't understand. I agree, keep it general, right? Yeah. It's like you never know how people feel about things and being told advice like that, so it's just like, well, she didn't ask for advice, so I'm just not gonna give advice and just say something more general. She moves to leave. You go to help again, but she smiles a refusal at you. Really, it's okay. But I appreciate the offer. Makes me feel welcome. A few moments later, she waddles slowly to the door. Her hands continue to twist themselves into shapes as she waits for the answer, until finally she disappears inside. You sigh, set off into the night. Only 1 cent, that's fine. Or 10 cents, I suppose. Yeah, you didn't want to add that kind of judgment. Exactly, and yeah. It's like it felt like there's a judgment involved. I think you would only be like meaning it nice, in a nice way, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't come with some sort of like, I don't know, extra baggage or whatever, like connotation or whatever. Yeah, all that bitching since she tipped you 10 cents, yeah. Yeah, it sounds like she's had it pretty rough, so. It was an interesting take on the whole Brexit thing, so like, this is why someone may have voted for Brexit, but like realized that it wasn't the best vote after the fact or whatever. Kind of getting tricked into it. Let's see. Still no suspects, guys. Bad tipping is bad for the baby, yeah. Yeah. Alright, well, let's just, we're making pretty good money. Let's just pick somebody up. Let's pick up this guy. I don't think I've picked him up before. I don't recognize his face. Night bus waves at you in the rearview mirror before passing. It's going way too fast. Oh, he didn't tell me a place to go, Carlo. Come on, Carlo. The passenger getting into your taxi is drunk. He all but trips as he's getting into the back seat, leaving a piece of his jacket stuck in the door as he slams it 10 times too hard. The whole street must have heard it. He tries to keep his calm as he gives you his address. You start driving, but keep an eye on him. You never know. His head lolls, his eyes roll. He rummages through his pockets looking for his phone. In vain. Hey, buddy. Tell me, any chance you see my phone? What phone? Oh, what He looks around. What an idiot! I lost it earlier. Not here, at the bar. He stumbles, mumbling, or he starts mumbling. Or it's somewhere. His eyes start to look like slits. We're at the bar. He's silent for a minute, trying to remember something. When he starts speaking again, he moans. She's gonna kill me. You turn a corner and he slides toward the door, hitting the window hard. Oh, fuck, that hurts. Seriously, man. I can get angry. I can say, you okay? Yeah, no. See, my wife, she told me not to come home too late. Made me swear across my heart. Whole 9 yards. She just had a baby. He corrects himself. We just had a baby. But, you know, she's the one who carried it. We didn't find it in the street or anything. He smirks as he imagines that scenario. It's the cutest little baby, but I'm so done spending my nights waving its ass. So when my colleagues invited me out, he hiccups. Well, I mean, I said okay, like, I went with him, right? This guy's making bad decisions, yeah, right? He shakes his head, disgusted. You gotta help me. I have to prepare an alibi. An alibi? He nods, sure of himself. Yeah, an alibi, an explanation for where I was tonight and what I did. So she doesn't beat the shit out of me. He pauses. Dude, I'm serious. You gotta help me. Why not? Let's get weird. Except, very well. Seriously? He bursts out laughing and attempts to clap his hands together, but misses. Holy shit, awesome! Okay, first when you start with, with the whole like trying to clap his hands but miss these things reminds me of the Brendan Fraser meme. I don't know if you guys have seen that, where he's like laughing, he goes to like clap and then he like points or whatever. Like, I don't know. I've seen it quite a few times. It's one of my favorite memes. Yeah, let's get weird, Shadow. He blinks out and his eyes close. I'm just gonna let him sleep. A few seconds later, he struggles to open his eyes. Alibi. Everything alright? Yep, the alibi. You gotta start by answering the main question in this case. He chuckles. Sound like a cop. He shakes his head. The main question in this case is, why didn't I call my wife? That's where we need to begin. What about a work emergency? I work in a movie business for a production company. She'd never buy it. Once again, his eyes start to close. His eyelids look like they weigh a ton. His voice sounds perfectly sincere. 5 years of higher education, a 250-page thesis on a Soviet film director, and now Terry Care filming permits for Hollywood mega blockbusters. He sighs. Yeah, because you're considerate. There are no work emergencies. Nothing I do matters. He pauses. He appears to have fallen asleep, but asks, why didn't I call my wife? You didn't have your phone, you tried but couldn't reach her? You didn't have your phone would be better than tried but couldn't reach her. Feels like a lie that can get caught too easily. Yeah, but I lost it after I... Your passenger opened his eyes and squeals like a child. That's it! That's it! She doesn't have to know I lost it after putting it back of you. You, my friend, are a genius. He claps his hands together. Okay, alright. So how did I lose my phone? Stolen, dropped it in the toilet, forgot to charge it. Well, he doesn't have it on, so let's say stolen. He looks at you for a second, then claps his hands together. Yeah, I got my phone stolen. Like, I left it on the table at lunch and bam, gone. This already happened to her, so she can't get on my case about it. He chuckles. Okay, we're good on the phone. But I still need to explain why I didn't call. I mean, she knows I know her number. I'm not sleeping, I swear, I'm thinking. He opens his mouth. A little burp escapes. Can I explain why I went out with my colleagues and couldn't call her? He opens his eyes and suddenly recognizes the street. Oh fuck, we're almost there. Shit, quick, I know. Something happened to me at the bar. That way she'll get that it wasn't my fault, right? That I had no choice? Oh shit, I've got it. He gloats, drooling a bit. Ran into someone I knew in the bar and we had a few drinks. It was crazy, dear, just crazy. But who? A sports star, a celebrity, a long lost friend. How about a celebrity? He is in the movie business. A sports star wouldn't really make sense for the movie business. I mean, not that it's impossible, but I'm gonna say a celebrity. He stares at you. A celebrity? Yes, a star, a singer, an actor. His face lightens up. Yeah, not bad. Plus I know exactly who I'm dying to meet. Mathilda April. I love her songs and it would be easy to weave the lie. He hides his face. Yeah, I know, it's not very manly. But I love her stuff. He smirks. Honey, I couldn't take my eyes off her. She sat down at my table and... He drops his expression. Oh shit, if I say I ran into Matilda, my wife will be jealous. I have to explain it was for professional reasons only. That the meeting was about a movie deal. That we're trying to boost her career. Yeah, that's good. He pauses, closing his eyes. And it makes the lie more credible, right? Who could possibly make up a lie like that, you know? You'd have to be totally stupid. He waves his hands around. Machiavellian. Mathilda April it is. Okay, so we're good. I have my excuse for the phone. I have my excuse for being busy all evening. Now I just need an excuse for staying out so late. That's not enough? No, dude. Not at all. I need something more solid, you know? Something that pulls the line together, man. Lying to your wife is like a magic trick. You can't just saw the lady in half, you have to turn the box around too. I mean, the lady's got to think it's funny, like, lol, hilarious, I'm cut in half and I can still take my feet. His eyelids droop. I need a strong finale. Something like, well, something, you know? He looks like he's asleep. An old lady who got mugged, some weird guy started following you, your driver needed someone to talk to. It's like implicating myself there. How about an old lady got mugged? A little excitement up in the story, you know what I'm saying? An old lady getting mugged, excitement. Oh, sorry, that was stupid. Alright, in a calm voice, he states what he seems to think is ancient wisdom. Dude, you're a total genius. Suddenly he opens his eyes. I got into a fight with some gangbangers. What? Why would that really took a different swing, didn't it? That okay. A fight with some gangbangers, huh? Out in the street. They were mugging an old lady. Saw them and chased the muggers away. The old lady insisted I have one last drink with her. The old boozing biddy. That's why I smell like booze. He lifts a finger and draws a circle above his head. And there you have it. You hear that, man? You hear what a kick-ass screenwriter I'd make? My wife will give me the fucking Palme d'Or for my performance. Is that like some French award? He imitates the sound of a screaming crowd. And the Palme d'Or is awarded to Carlo Caruti for lie invented with a super nice taxi driver. He lowers his voice a bit, turning into a TV anchor. This is Carlo's 10th fib this year, but it's without a doubt the finest. Near perfection. He's not bruised up or anything, he's toast. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, if you got a fight with some gangbangers and get a single bruise, she'll eat it right up like child's play. He slaps his thigh. Stop him, say nothing. Don't say nothing, let him go. It all begins with a moving opening scene, one that's already reached cult status. The main character's phone is stolen when he leaves it on the outdoor table in a bistro. Ah, the kind of terrible mistake most Parisians usually never make. There's no way to reach his wife. He normally would have gone straight home. But alas, he was at it yet unaware what an amazing encounter he would hold. He raises 3 fingers. The kind of encounter you only have 3 times in a lifetime. Mathilda April, his favorite singer. There was something so enchanting about her voice that he lost all notion of time. When the main character notices the time, it's already very late. Too late. He hurries home, but on the way he happens upon an old lady getting mugged. He's not a fighter, but he frightens off the hoodlums. He bursts out laughing. He switches back to his regular voice. You know, my friend, it's really not bad. I think she'll go for it. He bursts out laughing. Plus, I think kind of stuff actually happens to me. He taps you on the shoulder. You almost reach the destination. The smug smile on your passenger's face annoys you. You park in front of his place. Yeah, don't do this to your wife. She deserves better. He watches you with a smirk on his face. Hilarious, like it didn't bother you until now? He hands you a bill. Keep the change, buddy. He slaps you on the shoulder and gets out of the taxi. You watch him stagger a bit as he walks away. He disappears into his building. You drive away. I don't know, did we do a bad thing there? Was that bad cowboy points? A lot of passengers, any suspects though? No, they're not going to give me any suspects this entire night. I could probably only get one more passenger. Got plenty of gas. Let's see, is there anybody recognized? That's the killer from the last story. Yeah, none, man. Let's pick up this guy. Looks like a trucker or something. Milo Reacher. Need a cab, quick! Pull up in front of the American Embassy. You can't recall ever picking up a customer here. They probably have a fleet of their own. Or a contract with a private company. The door opens. You take an immediate liking to the guy who gets in. You find him somehow reassuring, like a lost tourist. He babbles something in English. You have to listen hard to make out the address. Sorry, I'm just back in Paris. I forgot my manners. He flashes you a sparkling smile. His voice is tinged with a slight American accent. You turn the key in the ignition. Thanks. What's your name, pal? You're surprised to hear him use the familiar to form straight off the bat. Saying what's it to you? You first. Hossein? Nice to meet you, Hossein. He stares at you intently for a moment. My name is... He nods slowly, as if disheartened. If I reveal my name, I'll be left with no other choice. I have to kill you. He pauses, way too long to be joking. His face darkens. It's a different man on the seat behind you. And then his face creases into a grin. Hey, amigo, I'm joking. I work for the CIA, that's all. You're an undercover agent? The CIA? So I guess you really get around. Say, whoa, the music just got really loud in the game. The CIA? Yeah, the CIA. You know, Jason Bourne and all that. Spy business. You're a spy? Yeah, you can say that. Is that why your French is so good? I speak 8 other languages too. You give a low whistle. Not bad for a Yankee, eh? He bursts into laughter. No wonder I'm a spy, eh, amigo? A wave of sadness comes over your passenger. You can read it in his gestures and the look on his face. You cast a glance into the rearview mirror, trying to catch his eye and the look. Is everything okay? Same as always. I'm only just starting to realize. He sits bolt upright, as if someone had struck him on the back of the neck. I don't have any children, amigo, but I've had some under my supervision. Kids. One of them is... He stops short. He doesn't have to finish. You know where that sentence ends. You slump heavily against your seat and focus on the road. And on automatic pilot, your mind a blank. What would you do if your children disappeared? Something awful. Can't even imagine it. The wrenching sorrow of a parent who loses a child. First time I saw him, his voice has gone up a notch. You almost jump. He was beating up a black market supplier. Guy had sold him shoe polish that smelled like shit, and his business depended on shoe polish. He was always stationed around Kharkov, Cloth Mahal. The Poles call it Sukinsi, calling out to passers-by at the top of his lungs. His voice trails off. Bogdan. He wasn't the first kid I ever supervised. It's just, there's something different about him. Caught on fast, amigo. You know what I mean? He could think on his feet. He knew when he got tough. He knew when to get tough and when to play dead. Bowden was like a little Polish monkey. Smart, cunning, fearless, brave, real comic book hero. He breaks off again. You really cared for him. His name was Bowden? I say you really cared for him? A great deal. I think he reminded me of myself. Like I said, amigo, I sensed it immediately the first time I set eyes on him. He was beating up this supplier. I went over and handed him a Mars bar. That's what he always gave them back then. Had about 5 minutes for a serious talk before the sugar kicked in. That was back in '88. Poland was no longer part of the USSR. The Soviets had lost. What an amazing country, amigo. Have you ever been there? Hey, what's up, Stella? Hey, love Mars bars. Nice. There you go. Never. That's too bad. You arrive at your destination, a nondescript building, all glass and metal. Every person is unique. Your passenger reaches out his pocket and fishing for the fare. Some are as cool as concrete, others fragile, like cut glass. He pulls out a bill and hands it to you. The poles are made of steel. His voice falters. His eyes glaze over. How did he die? In eating, I'm very sorry. I'm gonna say, how did he die? He feels for something in his vest. The idea of his having a gun gives you quite a start. That kid entered my life like a jingle. You see what I mean? He's struggling to find the right metaphor. Life is like a radio. There are songs, the interviews, the ads, but the jingles. The jingles are short, but they stick in your head. You can't get rid of them. You nod, assent without thinking. Your client grins. The police got him. I trained the kid, then he went and got himself whacked. Through his own fault, too. Thought he was smarter. It's been 30 years, but Bogdan, whatever. Kid could have made something of himself. And he let himself get caught pickpocketing a couple of American tourists. Then made for a run for it, got shot in the back. Dumbass. He opens the cab door. The cold air rushes in. Taught that kid everything I knew. Everything. Well, so much for him. He exits the cab. The door slams with a resounding echo. You sit stock still, taking in the parting words. And then you start up the cab. No better way to get your mind off things. Hey, what's up, Nightwolf? What's up, everybody? Everybody's showing up. How's it going? Good to see y'all. Holy crap, we just shot up to how many viewers? Is that 8? It said, what? What up? Yeah, how you feeling, dude? How you doing, Nightwolf? And so far, for anybody who's just joining us, you haven't really missed much as far as like the actual story goes. We have not gotten a single clue tonight, so it's just been a bunch of short stuff. I mean, you've missed a bunch of little short stories. Those are pretty cool, don't get me wrong, but nothing on the major. So, Little feverish. The worst is that I can't taste. Oh no, you got that symptom? That sucks, man. That's gotta be rough. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Hopefully you'll get through it soon. I get my second shot for my vaccine on Thursday this week, so I am, maybe anticipating some stuff going on there. Maybe at least some sleepiness at best. I was definitely sleepy after the last one, so I'm hoping that's all that I have for this one, but we'll see. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm glad that I have that I'm getting it and that I'll be vaccinated. That's for sure. But yeah, feel better soon, man. Hopefully it's not too bad. Okay, suspects. Are we gonna get one? We got this shady dude. Might click on him. Yeah, let's go for him. Let's go for the shady fellow. Two women cross the street in front of your cab. They're laughing so loudly you can't help but smile yourself. I need to get out of here. Xavier. Alright, dude. I'll get chatty here. You pull up next to the sidewalk, a few meters from an abandoned warehouse. No sign of your passenger. You wait a minute, staring at the meter. You really don't like wasting your time on people who... You hear a window break on the second floor of the warehouse. A body falls heavily to the sidewalk. This happened last time and it was Harvey, right? Or maybe it was this guy. You lay your hand on the door handle when a man, dressed entirely in black, jumps into the window and lands on the body. He stands up and takes a few steps over to your cab. Are you the cab I ordered? You nod your head very, very slowly. Super. I'm the one waiting for you. Be right there. He turns around, places his fingers on the neck of the inanimate body, takes his pulse. He comes back over, opens the door, and jumps into the back seat. Hey, you start driving. Really, please. So bizarre, trying to make light of experimenting with that random foods. Yeah, drinks are like with a muted sense of smell and taste. Yeah, that, I guess that's like a silver lining, right? Use it as time to try it out and see what you can manage to get yourself to eat, I guess. But be careful though, obviously. You follow orders without a second thought. In back, your passenger smells like sweat and gunpowder. He's been running. Been in a fight, maybe. Probably. His muscles bulge in rhythm with his heart, which is racing. Is that guy okay? Good evening? I'm gonna say, was that guy okay? Ooh. His husky voice gets higher. Oh, him. He's fine. Don't worry. He was unconscious long before he went out that window. And an ambulance is on its way. So, no worries. You open your eyes a bit wider. He notices. Okay, alright, come on. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. You're on to me, and you know it. I'm the masked Joker. Oh yeah, the masked Joker. We picked this guy up before. He's like a vigilante, right? Silence. You squint to get a closer look at your passenger. The masked Joker. The hero that makes Parisian nights more peaceful? No? You slowly shake your head. Nope, doesn't ring a bell. I'm all over Twitter, so probably on the radio and in newspapers, I think. And what exactly do you do? I protect people. I'm a guardian. Like a superhero? No, I don't have any superpowers. But it's the same idea. Yes, I mean, for the moment, I mostly take care of small-time crooks, pickpockets. It's not very prestigious, but you have to start somewhere. You open your mouth, but nothing worth saying comes out. I suppose so. Oh, right, that makes sense, obviously. You gotta start somewhere. I'm gonna say that. You gotta start somewhere, you just gotta start, dude. So, how about the name? You like it? I'm not sure I get it. It's not bad, awful, shrug. I'm gonna say I'm not sure I get it. It's Joker, like the card. And mask because I'm wearing a mask. Silence ensues. Your passenger eventually clears his throat. See, I wanted something that wasn't too... He searches for the right word, beats around the bush, and eventually comes out with... problematic. Did a lot of brainstorming and came up with the masked Joker. I haven't gotten great feedback, but it's hard these days to find a name everyone likes. You have to make sacrifices if you want your core business to succeed. That's what they tell us at school anyway. At school? Yes, and D&K. He freezes. Shit, I almost gave you the name of my business school. What an idiot. Can you imagine if Bruce Wayne went around telling everyone he was Bruce Wayne? Bruce Wayne? You mean Batman? No, Batman. If Batman ran around telling everyone he was Bruce Wayne. Getting all mixed up. He touches his sides for a while, like he's looking for a wound. You're getting close to your destination. I think I'm hurt. Want me to take you to the hospital? No, I'm fine. I shouldn't have jumped out of the window like that. But you were already coming down the street and I didn't want to make you wait. You smile. Pull over. Right there in front of the driveway. You obey. Don't worry. It's just like a flesh wound. I'll be home in 2 minutes and I have everything I need to take care of it myself. He pays and struggles to get out of the cab. One last thing. Please don't say anything about ENKID. I'm trying to lead a double life and it's not super easy. Of course, I don't know what you're talking about. ENKID, my business school. He freezes. Oh, I just got it. You're playing along. Okay, great. He looks at you for a minute. You're a real classy guy. He walks away, limping. You watch him as he tries several times to enter his building code before heading inside, finally. As you go to start the engine, you notice a few drops of blood on your fingers from the bills your passenger handed you. Drops of blood. When I try the one chip challenge, yeah, it'd be the time to try it. Spiciest potato chip that you can't handle with bare hands. Oh man. It burn your skin too? I'll burn your skin hot. Is it real hot? Is it real hot? Oh, it's like it when Red and Link do that on Good Mythical Mornings. One of the things they always do to each other, one says something's hot. Oh, is it real hot? Which I should be getting my Good Mythical Mornings shirt soon. It said it shipped a while ago. You wipe your face, starting to feel sleepy. A bus goes by, making the walls shake. It's time to get moving on your investigation. All right, we didn't get anything new. But we have all the space now where Harvey was. Because they said that Harvey was innocent again. He had an alibi. Because of course it wasn't him. These are almost like the same thing. You can line them up. Bing! Now it almost looks like she's short. Alright. Stack the stuff up under Harvey. I got that space, dude. Okay, so before I go forward, I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick, guys. I'll be right back. 1 moment. That would be funny. I do have some crazy hot sauces. Yeah, dude, try it, dude. Could be interesting. Okie dokie. Shout out to everybody who's hanging out, lurking or not. Appreciate y'all for being here. Well, thank you very much. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the story so far. Well, really stories. We haven't really got much of the main story yet, but we'll get there. Only got 2 more nights, and then we gotta pick a bad guy. So far, the Gilda was her name, looking pretty sus. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You lie down on the open sofa bed. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. You open one eye. Your back aches. You'd like to close your eyes and go back to sleep. You get up quickly, and a few minutes later, you're outside your studio. So when do I shower? I just go home, put my clues up, I sleep. When do I eat, for that matter? Asking too many questions. All right, any clues or suspects? No. All right, well, guess we're just gonna continue on. Hey, look, it's that preacher guy. Let's see what happens in his story next, huh? Hello, Mr. Preacher Man. Christoph. Need to go to Faubourg Saint-Honoré. You recognize the next passenger from his shape and the way he walks. It's the priest. He slides into the back seat. Very pleased to see you again. He gives you the same address he did the last 2 times. You start driving. Something appears to be troubling him this evening. Few words are exchanged. Weather, taxes, traffic. Then, you can tell it's coming. The inevitable conversation about the killer. Some bits of information, rumors, things overheard. You make a mental note of what you've heard. Who knows? It might come in handy. Huh, so the priest gave me some information? Just randomly? Alright. If something, better than nothing. It's funny. I'm sort of relieved to see you. I'm starting to understand why my parishioners like confessions so much. It's almost addictive, this desire to talk about oneself, to be listened to. He pauses a moment. Not the kind of pause that calls for a question, but a real break in the conversation, and for the mind. I have some good news. That was obviously thrown me into a spiral of questions and doubts. He pauses again. She's pregnant. It wasn't planned. When she told me a few days ago, I was happy. She and her husband were not able to have children, you see. She sees it as a sign that our love is true, authentic. I did not react as I should have. You don't want kids? You want to get married first? You're scared? Say nothing. I'm gonna say nothing and let him go on. It's crazy, but when she told me about the baby, I froze. I started thinking about trivial things. It was like my mind had opened an old photo album. Like my memory had waited all these years to trigger my... He grasps for the words, hesitates. Paternal instinct? Or parental, probably. Men and women aren't so profoundly different after all, in my opinion, in any case. It takes a minute to collect his thoughts. He is visibly moved, emotional. When she told me about the baby, I thought about... It's stupid. Go on, say it. He smiles. You are not making this easy. When she told me about the baby, my first thought was, what sports should he play? A long sigh. I thought about what sport he should play, what school he should go to, what name we should give him. In an instant, I was planning our future together, all 3 of us. When I told her I wanted to get married, she took it badly. Really badly, actually. She shut down, asked me to leave. I don't know what to do or what to say anymore. I thought she wanted to have a family. What does having a family mean to you? She's a widow, say nothing. I'm gonna ask, what does having a family mean to you? A family is... No, wait. I see what you're doing. I'm no extremist. I don't think a family has to be made up of a mother, a father, and children. I'm not that old-fashioned. It's just... You sense from the way he moves that he is very tense. You're right. A family is love, connection, a home. Not chains. He remembers something. I gave a sermon along those lines a few years ago. I remember it really bothered some of the parishioners, who would rather have seen me at the head of the right-wing protest rally. You know what I think? God gave us the freedom to be whatever we want to be. This is how I must live, and I must learn to live. Once again, you're helping me open my eyes. He stops to think. I think I know what I'm going to say to her. I don't know if it's the right solution, but it's a solution. Together, we will figure out how to face these obstacles and overcome them. You park in front of his destination. Your passenger pays and gets out of the car. I don't know how I could do all this without you. He walks off. Nice. It's got a bit of an interesting story, right? No suspects. I guess I just gobbled up all the clues the first 3 nights. Now there's no clues left. Okay, we got this couple looking for a donor that we gave a ride to earlier. We can find out what's next in their story. They were looking for a donor, and oh, what happened? Out of nowhere, a voice whispering in your ear. Ludwig, this is where I died. What the hell? You brake hard. There is no noise in the cab. No noise outside. A silhouette appears in the back seat of the cab. Its features appear one by one, as if drawn with a paintbrush. Ludwig, so much suffering. You squint. A little boy. Would you be so kind as to drive me? All right, where to, little ghost boy? Very well, let us drive then. The boy's silhouette flutters for a moment, then disappears entirely. You hold your breath. Maybe I can do a little bit of a voice for this. It seems like I should use a voice. How about I just use reverb? Just so it sounds a little more ghostly. Ooh. Hopefully it's not too much. Let me know if it's too much. So okay, you hold your breath. On the backseat behind you, the boy slowly reappears. You start driving. Montparnasse. Yeah, ghost boy. Isn't that weird? His icy voice makes you feel ill at ease. He leaves you no choice. See, I feel like maybe I should now. I'm thinking I should try to find a good voice to match like ghosts or weird paranormal things or something. That could be a cool filter if I could figure something out. You drive. You tell yourself a passenger is a passenger. You must be overtired, stressed.
Do you see the sidewalks?
At this time of night, they're almost empty. Here and there, a few pedestrians hurry by, headphones on.
Right here. Time sped up. 100 years ago, Paris became the center of the world. Right here. Sidewalks sped up.
The ghost features fade. The voice suddenly seems far away.
Some people came from all over to see the metal ziggurat, Indo-Chinese temples, West Indian huts.
A familiar smell tickles your nose.
People shot like bullets off to moving walkways.
Yeah, I know it's not ghostly. Yeah, it's just it's the most ghostly thing I have right now on hand. I was just saying maybe I could make something later, but yeah. If it's too much, are you saying I should stop? Is it too much? Is that what you mean, still? Because I'll just stop doing it if it's too much. Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to be ghostly, but I'm sure there's probably something in Voicemon I could do to make a ghostly one. I just hadn't thought of that yet, you know? Yeah, if it's too much, just let me know.
Once in a while, they lost their balance, wobbled, caught themselves just in time.
It's not too much? Okay, cool. Yeah, and I really appreciate the feedback, for sure, stuff. Engine grease, lukewarm and slimy.
People had a great deal of fun. They also had fun with foreigners, subjects, slaves.
Hot engine grease dripping down black bodies.
My grandniece came to see these people. She never made the connection.
You slowly shake your head and collect your thoughts. Grandniece? Not sure I understand. I'm gonna say grandniece. I don't know what the question mark indicates, but we'll go with that and see what happens there.
I had a sister, Marie. She did not die from grief after I died. She had a husband, Joseph. They fought a lot over a necklace. They had a son, Louis. Later, Louis had a wife. Met her in a rowboat on the Marine River. They laughed a lot.
He sighs.
They had a daughter together, Marie. She's the one who came to see the foreigners. Came to see a human zoo.
Can I ask you a question?
There's nothing more to understand. Don't you see that our time has come?
The boy begins to fade. You pull over by the sidewalk. His voice resonates in the cab.
From all over the planet, folks gather to make fun, to take a thrill ride. I do get it, in retrospect. It's easy for me to look down on them. Everything is easier when you don't exist, when you are but a ghost. We are our own executioners.
The back seat is empty. You are sweating. Well, that was interesting. But the ghost doesn't tip worth a shit. Yeah, definitely gonna work on a ghostly one. I'm sure there's much better voices I could use there. But yeah, again, so thank you for that feedback. Appreciate that. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Got the CIA guy. I don't think I've seen this gal. Can't really see who that is. Let's try her. Well, let me make sure I get a good sweep here. No suspects. You know, I could just go to a gas station and get a newspaper real quick. And fill up on some gas, I guess. Let's try that. And I'll read the newspaper and we'll see if I can get any clues out of that. Fluorescent lights irritate your eyes, and the smell of pee is wafting up from the space in between the pumps. Self-service here. Pay directly at the pump. Minimart over there must sell newspapers. Person behind the counter must see and hear things. Might be worth asking a couple of questions. You get out of your taxi and are struck with a familiar feeling that you are the last person on Earth. Fill that tank, fill that tank. You walk into the mini-mart. The guy behind the counter looks like all the other guys behind counters you've come across in your life. Yeah? Newspaper. Should we try one of these scratchers? Purdue? Losing ticket, no luck. Okay. Oh, I have to come back tomorrow every time? Oh, okay. I guess I'll grab one every time then. Talk to the clerk. You examine the newspaper magazine covers. The serial killer is on the front page of all of them. It's crazy, isn't it? You'd think they'd have caught him by now. The clerk smiles. You recognize the twinkle in his eye. This guy has something to tell you. Oh, he's got a clue. Good luck. Night, I guess. Or good night, I guess. You nod and exit the shop. And then we GTFO. Get in your taxi and drive away. Alright, any suspects? Not, I'm reading my paper. I don't see any. Thoroughly scanned. Alright, newspaper time then. You pull a newspaper out of your glove compartment and start leafing through it. Eventually, something grabs your eye. It's a rather positive critique of a bar called Sully's. Sully's. It's a place near here called Sully's. Not like that, though. You make note of the information with interest. In your line of work, that kind of thing can always come in handy. You turn the page and stop. You've read about a third of the paper. Keep on reading, buddy. You stop reading and go back a few pages. You thought you saw something. A badly framed photo and a terse article inform you that a minister is stepping down for personal reasons. She will be replaced by her right-hand man, who also happens to be her husband. Her face is not all familiar. You don't think you've ever seen her before. You only have a third left to read. Read the whole thing. As soon as you get to the page, you stop. Your instinct tells you to look at it. Just another article on the Angel of Death. Reading between the lines, you understand that the fourth victim left their entire fortune to charity. You take note. The fourth victim left their entire... Oh, interesting. Okay. I don't know what that says about the killer, though, you know? I guess, like, they might kill him because they left all their money to charity, but weird. Okay. You shut the paper. It'll end up in the trash tonight. If you remember it's there. Otherwise, it'll spend the rest of its days in your glove compartment. Alright, come on, suspects. You guys need a ride somewhere, sometime. Man, everybody's keeping a low profile. I don't even see Harvey out here asking for free rides. Alright, I'm here. We can give this lady a ride. Got a cool hat. Roxana. Seems like the good people. That one guy was a hero, maybe. Yeah, maybe he's a hero. I mean, definitely some suspicious stuff. Talking about the masked Joker, I'm assuming. Yeah, let's see here. Roxana, I must speak with you. I absolutely have to speak with you. Oh, okay. Speak with me? You don't want a taxi ride? The door slams, followed by a freezing cold burst of air. You stare at your passenger for a moment in the rearview mirror. She's wearing a rather unusual getup. You smile. Good evening. She nods before giving the taxi a detailed once-over with a blank look on her face. Everything okay? She doesn't seem to hear you and continues scanning every part of the cab. After a very long minute, she crosses and uncrosses her fingers. You sigh. You usually like weird passengers like her, the strange ones, but this one, something about her you don't like. She clears her throat loudly. I came too early. He'll be here soon. She has a very strong Eastern European accent. Russian, maybe? I don't really know how to do Russian accent. What are you talking about? Him. She slowly smiles, revealing a line of dirty teeth stained with cigarette smoke and worn down from booze. Ludwig. Hey, the little boy his name was Ludwig, wasn't it? That may not ring a bell now, but soon. She stops. Soon what? Ghosts don't exist. So it was the ghost, Ludwig. I don't believe in ghosts. Soon what? He'll be sitting right here, staring at you with his dead little eyes. Laughter bubbles up abruptly from the back of her throat. I'm a ghost hunter, sir. Ah, so she's hunting Ludwig down. She enunciates each word as it rolls off her tongue. Some creatures from the netherworld live among us, encrusting themselves onto our lives like barnacles. She pauses. Her tongue sounds so rough. Like oysters. The word is almost unintelligible with her accent. Ghosts are parasites. Dead weight bearing down on our shoulders and back. Ghosts exist? You're crazy. I'm gonna say ghosts exist? What? News to me, I just had one in the back seat. Of course, sir. Not believing in something doesn't make it any less dangerous. On the contrary. No. That's what he wants you to believe. What he wants you to think. He's not doing anything wrong. You need to keep two essential things in mind. Ludwig is evil incarnate. He is a tour guide from the underworld trying to sell you your own death. His cold fingers gripping on the edge of your window. I can feel it. I know it. They'll soon be here, holding on. Just like this. Her words make less and less sense, as she's going into a trance. You have two essential things to keep in mind, and that was the first. The second is even more important. Do not make him angry. Listen to him. Help him. Make friends with him. And if I talk to this ghost, what will happen? He will take you with him to the underworld, for all eternity. Her fingers adjust her collar. She starts to get out. It's easy to think that Ludwig is a child. He's no child. He's a creature that has lived for centuries. A demon, dangerous, violent. She lays a hand on the door handle. Don't forget, make friends, no matter what. Hey, you haven't paid. She pauses, hardly able to contain her laughter. You folks are unbelievable. What folks, French people? I'm saving your life, and you want me to pay? Her laughter fills the cab. Hey! She gets out of the cab and walks away. Her steps resonate on the cobblestones. She turns down a narrow street and the footsteps come to a halt. You sit in silence for a while until a damp feeling creeps up your back. Sweat, fear, running in your veins. You open the window and let the icy cold Parisian air fill your cab. It's refreshing, perks you up. Do ghosts really exist? Isn't all that just... No. You turn the key in the ignition and get back into your shift. Interesting. Oh, there's the masked Joker again. I didn't find him all that interesting. But I guess we might as well follow up on his story. See what happens when we pick him up again. I think I picked him up once in the last story and then once in this story, so I've gotten the same interaction. So we'll see what the second one is for him. Xavier. Gonna need a taxi soon. I mean, he's going out to the outskirts. Alright, his fare's 27 bucks. Aight. You pull him next to the sidewalk. Oh, I just got an achievement. In a calm, nondescript alleyway. No sign of your passenger. The cobblestones gleam calmly underneath the street lamps. A cat jumps from one building to another. Two men are fighting in the shadows. You sit up abruptly. Something is shining in the darkness. One of those Japanese sabers just reflected off of a street lamp. You put a hand on the door handle, ready to run. The saber falls to the ground, and the sound rings through the alley. One of the two men crumples. The other walks towards your taxi with determination. At the very last minute, just as the door is about to open, you recognize the passenger from before, the one who thinks he's a superhero. Yeah, we can go. Same address as last time. He appears to be out of breath, but his voice is calm and poised. What about the other guy? I'll tell you in a minute. First, start driving. The police are on the way, and I don't want to run into them. Neither do you. And I don't want to get you mixed up in all this. You put your foot on the accelerator. Oh, I've never seen that cutscene. You put your foot on the accelerator. I already read that. Behind you in the rearview mirror, you can see lights in several apartments flick on. Apparently, the fight woke up some of the neighbors. He stops, out of breath. The hell is going on? In my back seat, he tenses his muscles, his chest inflates. He catches his breath. In the space of a few seconds, his heartbeat has returned to normal. I'm sorry, but another deep breath. I think I shit my pants a little. Hard to say since he has a mask on, but you're pretty sure he's looking you straight in the eyes. But don't worry, there's no marks. I was just so scared. When he pulled his katana out, man, I was like, that's it, it's over. He had a good life, and now he's going to cut you up like a turkey. But actually, I handled it. He pauses, nods. You sense him sitting up straighter. Yeah, I handled it. I handled the hell out of it. But what happened? You're still doing that? A katana? I'm gonna say a katana? It's a kind of Japanese saber, you see. Well, I know what it is, but he pulled out a katana though? Like, why a katana in France? I didn't think he'd have that kind of weapon. Those guys aren't Japanese at all, actually. Exactly. Yeah, the guy shit his pants, yeah. Shit his pants though, because he was so scared from that fight. Like, maybe not ready for the big times in the whole saving people department. He tilts his head, lost in thought for a short moment. I'm investigating a sort of organization, like mob types, you know? They're forcing kids to work in this squat. They're sorting through jewelry, wallets. Sometimes they're sent out to panhandle. Girls are sent to, I mean, you get the gist, right? But the police aren't doing anything about it. Typical. Why? No idea. First off, the kids aren't French. The organization is tied to Albanians and this not-so-nice German guy. They have ties with the extreme right-wing organization with connections to 2 police captains. I came to get photos. I want to alert the press. Outside, an ambulance crosses your path. No sirens, no lights. It almost looks like a moving van. And while I was going about my business, that guy jumped me with his katana. It scared me to death. He pauses for a while. His body is radiating heat. Any hotter and he'd start to smoke. What you're doing is crazy. That's really risky. I'm gonna say, are you okay? It takes him a moment to respond. I'm okay, I swear. He clears his throat. What I'm about to say will probably sound pretty weird, okay? Another breath. This one is deep and long, almost moving. Since I've been chasing this organization down, I really feel like I'm doing something useful. Like I can really make a difference. And shit, that makes it all worth it. He pauses. Would it be okay if I just got some shut-eye for the rest of the trip? I think I need to. He falls asleep mid-sentence. You crack your window and let some fresh air in. The trip continues in silence, with you at the wheel and a mass tear in the back seat, and the smell of shit wafting in the air. What if? What if you'd taken martial arts classes? What if you had known how to defend yourself? Maybe that night. You shake your head. There's no point thinking about it. He or she snuck up on you. Attacked you from behind. Still have about 10 minutes left before reaching your destination. Muley. Muley always has the same effect on you. What a surprise. You're surprised to be reminded of this town next to Paris. Calm, pointless, unremarkable, boring as hell. At long last, you pull up in front of the driveway you dropped your passenger off last time. He wakes with a start. Already? You grin. Yes, already. Could have slept for about 20 more hours. He glances at your dashboard. I have an essay to turn in 6 hours from now. Wish me luck. Are you really going to work on it now? You're crazy. Good luck. I'm gonna say good luck. Thank you. He sighs and stretches for a while. Something in his neck cracks. Anyway, shower, breakfast, essay, sleep. That's the plan. He pays the fare and rushes into his building a few seconds later. You sit still, alone. Once the coast is clear, you check the back seat to make sure it's clean. It is. No trace of blood. Or shit. You sigh in relief and drive off. And no suspects as per usual. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get any more suspects for the rest of the story. I don't know. Man, I could be wrong. It's weird not to get any prompts for the story in the second half of the game here. But that's alright. How about CIA guy? Try to stick with specific people this time so we can get more of their individual story. Milo Reacher. This is a harder difficulty. Yeah, I mean it's not really a difficulty how it works, I guess. I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's like both, because in the description it said it was going to be more difficult than the first one, and like than the judge. But I think we just picked, because the way it sets difficulty is two ways. The story itself is supposed to be more difficult to like figure out who it is, but there's also like the whole difficulty level you can set for like how much money you make, and you have to make a certain amount of money. It's almost like a survival game at that point. I feel like we're just playing like the normal way it's intended to be played, but you can make it to where like you have to balance clues and work, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just the story maybe it doesn't have much. What I think it is I grabbed way too many clues off the get-go, because I had all those like eyeball things on the map, and I just went straight to them. I guess I should have spread them out a little more. I guess I don't know. Oh well. You recognize a passenger getting into your cab, an American guy who works for the CIA. He settles into the back seat. His clothes reek of alcohol. You recognize the deep, mild voice, the slight American accent, the stories, too. He's a funny guy, this one. Both reassuring and disturbing. He gives you an address with a heavy sigh. You start the cab. Looks like I made a mess of things again. Yeah, these stories are interesting, though. Yeah, I think they're very well written and everything, right? Like, these very interesting people, especially for just being like a cab ride, and just like straight dialogue is like how most of it's told, like dialogue and like body language, I suppose, through like descriptions and stuff. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. I like it. Looks like I made a mess of things again. He slumps back in his seat a little, as if he'd been knocked on the head. I've been overdoing it a little lately. Doctor tells me I need to lay off the booze, or I won't make it through the year. And then there's the awesome voice acting. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. His hand flutters nervously in the air. I was speaking Spanish all day. I got a splitting headache. My buddy from Cuba and me, we were at this meeting. It went on forever. Your Cuban friend? What kind of meeting? So what kind of meeting? No, that. Can't talk about that yet, amigo. But maybe tomorrow you'll hear something on the radio. You'll say to yourself, of course, it's Milo. He's the one. And you'll be right. I will be. I'll give you a clue, though. It has to do with Cuba. He has a strange sigh, a faraway look in his eyes. You should have kept Cuba. Kept Cuba? Yeah, like 100 years ago, it belonged to the good old U.S. of A. Didn't you know? I mean, it wasn't exactly ours, but it was sort of ours. You know what I mean? You give a nod. We helped them gain independence. Gave them a lot of help, in fact. Military, boats. Those were the good old days. His sudden bellow of laughter gives you quite a start. I bet you don't even know all the American mafiosi moved there. Mafiosi. Like mafia, right? I don't know why I can't say that word. American mafiosi moved there. The mafiosi? Yeah, the Italians. Know what I mean? Like in the movies. Don Corleone and all that. Casa Nostra had casinos there in the 50s. You know, you could go for the weekend, fat wads of cash, changing hands and all. In the 1940s, boy, they sure were good old days. The entire decade was. So how old are you? I'm not talking about from personal experience, of course. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't born back then. Gives you a little wink. When I first joined the company, the old timers, that's all they ever talked about. The good old days, the suits, the big cars. They'd get back to Miami on Monday mornings, go straight into the office. I missed out on all that. His eyes are half closed, his voice thick with emotion. But today, that's a thing of the past now. Today we make plans and presentations. We produce statistics and spreadsheets. He's staring at you intently. We take turns. My turn one day, yours the next. It's not the same anymore. You have to change with the times. Or retire and blow all your savings on booze. What exactly do you do? I'm a government facilitator. You are in marketing? Oh, I see. Nod silently. I say you're in marketing? In some ways, yes. I help people make the right choices by getting rid of the competition. Believe me, and this is coming from an American, nobody likes competition. Competition is just a way of getting people all worked up. Keeps them busy. Control is what it's really all about. He taps you on the shoulder. Last stop, amigo. You pull over. The street is dark and lifeless, perfectly quiet. See that little side street over there? You nod yes. The best bar in Paris is on it. It's run by Venezuelans. The owner, he could have been finance minister, you know. But instead, you're in the best joint in town. And all because the CIA prefers meetings and spreadsheets. Though tough luck for Venezuelans, and so much better for me. His roar of laughter nearly pierces your eardrum. He gets out of the cab and shakes your hand, handing you the fare, and then some. Your eye follows his bulky form as it crosses the street and turns into the dark alleyway. You sit there for a minute, somewhat confused. He's a strange one, not all that unpleasant really, and yet utterly vile. You start the cab. Yeah, it sounds like he's got kind of a shitty job. Yeah, it's super weird, right? Yeah. Alright, any suspects? There's this guy. I don't know if I've ever picked that guy up. Let's pick this person up. You're wearing some sort of hat or helmet? Two police officers standing in front of a building stare at your taxi as it goes by. You speed up just a bit so you don't something. Gambetta, he says. Like horns or something? What's going on with this guy? Just woke up. Storytelling put me to sleep in a good way. Well, it's good. I'm all for that. This guy got big bunny ears. Should I use a voice on him just because it might be fun? I don't know. He's a weird guy, so maybe I'll just give him a deep voice or something. How about let's do low voice?
We'll just try this voice.
This guy.
Aw, shit, man.
Your next passenger is holding a bow, which he inadvertently pokes in his eye while getting into the taxi. He leaps into the back seat and looks at you with a lost expression on his face.
Supposed to be at the Gambetta bus station in less than 15 minutes.
Your seatbelt? You run the first red light you come across. With a little luck, you'll get this kid to the bus. You see him mopping behind you.
Shit. Was it really that hard to be on time, bro? You shit stain. You can't miss this bus. You just can't, man.
Everything okay?
Yeah, okay. This might sound a little crazy, but what do you think of my Gravia outfit?
Gravia?
Yeah, it's a race in a game. The bow, the helmet, the armor, you know, all that shit.
I think this is a reference to the Vera in Final Fantasy, maybe. They're called Gravia. It just makes me think of the Vera. The Vera are a Amazonian race of all women from Final Fantasy that all have rabbit ears, but they're all like very tall, very like war like women. It's very nice.
Nice? Yeah, okay. But do you think it's lit?
But bro, do you think it's lit, bro? Yeah, it makes a little more sense now. Yeah, hopefully that gives you a little bit of something. We're like women with rabbit ears. Got it. Yep, there you go. Yeah, they're pretty cool. In Final Fantasy 14, my character I play a lot is a Vera. Because I think they're a cool race. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Interesting? I don't want interesting.
He sighs heavily and droops his head.
Shit, all this for a chick. I'm so into her. Even started playing her favorite video game, Lost Legend 5, to make her like me, but I look like a moron.
He looks at the time on the meter. So it sounds like he's like, if this is like a Final Fantasy like analogy, that he's dating someone who's playing that MMO. That's funny. So he's dressing like a character from it. You don't look like a moron. Chill out, man. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to him. He might look a little like a moron, but that doesn't mean that you gotta treat him like one. He deserves respect. He's just cosplaying. There's nothing wrong with that. Chill out, man.
You done anything like this for a chick?
Oh yeah, I definitely did some stupid stuff. Much stupider than dressing up.
It's not dressing up, it's a cosplay.
He turns his bow over. This cosplay is for a convention?
Yeah, in Belgium. There'll be thousands of cosplayers, it's pretty legit.
Will there be lots of graviers?
Gravians. No, I don't think so. They're popular, but the costume is daring. You gotta flash your abs at everyone all weekend.
That'd be rough. I'm sure it'll be fine. Good luck with that. I'm sure it'll be fine.
You really think so?
Well, it's daring. Plus, if you're the only one dressed like that, it takes a minute to think.
Oh, you're so totally right. How could she not be into me?
You park in front of the bus station. Your passenger hands you a bill and pays the fare.
Keep the change. I've always wanted to say that.
Good luck with the gravier thing.
Gravia. Yeah, thanks, man.
A second later, he's running for the bus, his bow slung across his back. That's cool. Should be the end of the night, I think, for this one. All right, we got one more night, then we gotta pick the bad guy. Yeah, all for love, yeah. Exactly. I've met Ludwig. Yes, now you know that human Zeus exists. I met Roxana. You met some interesting people this night. You take a few minutes to update your board with your new clues. You're suddenly overcome with a desire to sleep. You close your eyes, press your fingers to your eyelids, and let out a yawn. You glance at your bed and get to work. All we have time to do is glance at it. I thought I had extra clues. Do I not? Okay, I got a few clues. Are they not up here? Thought human zoos was some sort of metaphor. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Like he was trying to make a metaphor for something that had happened like in the history of France or something. But yeah, that made it seem like it was a literal type of deal there. Now we know that they exist. Yeah, I don't see any new sheets of paper on here. Okay, not that it's really gonna change much. I think we've all been in agreement that it's probably Gilda, right? I mean, she's got all that evidence on her, plus this, I feel like is very much on her as well. This one makes sense to pair with Gilda. Couldn't save everyone in the Albatross Guild. That doesn't matter, I'm sure. Slip throats. Words written in blood. Blood missing. That's, the blood missing is pretty weird. Everyone break in for crime scenes 1 and 3. Victim 4 gave part of her fortune to defend animal cause. Oh, that's the new clue. That's one of them, at least. Maybe the only one. Gave part of her fortune to defend animal cause. Like, who here would give a shit about that? No one? None of these people specifically have any ties to animals or charities or anything like that. I thought he was talking about the World's Fair in Paris. Don't know what year it was. Oh yeah, and calling that like a human zoo? Okay. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You lie down on the sofa bed. Its frame creaks. Events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Yeah, maybe we'll get to learn more about the little ghost boy. We'll see. Your brain is running at full speed. Your body aches. You're in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. You wish you were far away from here. Far, far away from here. You shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. Just when you're about to fall asleep, you think you hear a voice in the distance. 2 and 2. You jump, without understanding where the voice is coming from. Outside, Paris is waking up, and you fall asleep. 2 and 2, it said. 2 and 2. And how would you fall asleep after you just heard someone say something like that? Like, I don't know. I'd have to be pretty darn sleepy. You open one eye. You slept badly. Sometimes you're so tired you can't seem to get any rest. You'd like to understand how that's even possible. You get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside your studio. Oh, look, there's a guy with like a medieval helmet on. That's pretty cool. Is he a cosplayer? I pick him up if we don't got a suspect. And we don't. And there's no eyeballs I can go to, right? Yeah, we're good on that. Picking this guy up then.
Should I go with a muffled voice for him?
This will be in the helmet, maybe? You slow down. The back of your neck suddenly starts tingling. Someone is watching you. The feeling is familiar. You dare to glance behind you. He is there. Oh.
So, murderer? Happy to see me again?
He reveals a row of pearly whites, too white.
No worries. I won't be here long. This angel of death you're trying to track down. He was right there, right in front of you, and you did nothing. Imagine if you could go back in time, reach out, and rip his fucking face apart.
He leans towards you. Get the fuck out. I can't go back in time. Should we be rough with him, or he's just gonna be rough right back? So I'll say I can't go back in time. He closes his eyes.
It's really not that complicated, buddy.
He laughs. Your laugh. The sound of it rips through your eardrums. Your gut fills with pain, with the memory of that night.
You don't remember? You don't remember what you were thinking when the knife pierced your belly?
You shake your head. No, Another bout of laughter. Your chest feels tight. Your lungs You can hear that very specific whistling noise, the one your chest cavity made the night of the attack.
You said to yourself, this guy looks weak. This guy looks small. This guy looks like a pansy.
He's talking about the killer. You see his shape in the darkened lobby all over again. Blood on the letterboxes, on the buzzer, on your hands.
You're such a piece of crap. They never should have let you out of jail. They never should have let you out of your mama's womb. Vince, Kava.
I don't know what that last word meant. As you hear his words, you close your eyes. Instinctively. To protect yourself. For a second, just a second, your body feels lighter. Like it's floating in oversized adult clothes and cigarette fumes. You open your eyes back up. You are alone in the taxi. An idea forms in your mind. You close your eyes, trying to go back to the night of the attack. You start to picture something. Something you hadn't seen before, like it had been erased from your memory. Yeah, Charlotte, we have killed someone. Yeah, that is how we're being blackmailed. The cop says, like, she's the one that introduces us to that fact, because she's saying that if we don't find the murderer for her, she's going to pin it on us because we already have a prior murder, and she thinks that she can easily do that because we were involved and survived in one of the attacks. So yeah, we went to jail for murder, but yeah, we're trying to get our life back together, I guess. I don't know. Like, it sounds like it was a while ago for our character, like years ago, I think. But yeah, pretty crazy, right? Something you hadn't seen before, like it had been erased from your memory. Ooh, a new clue. The killer. Short. I've already gotten that clue like 3 times, I feel like. You slowly open your eyes. You catch your breath. You drive off. I feel like it's definitely not the cook lady then, if it's the shortness. And I don't know how tall the vampire lady was, but she wasn't attached to that clue of the shortness clue. So I think it's definitely got to be Gilda. I mean, it's either Gilda or Jonas, but it's definitely Gilda. It's not Jonas. Jonas would do it differently. If he did it at all, he would do it differently. It makes no sense to say there's only one God and he watches you and all that crap if you're just trying to prove that this is a simulation and that we don't actually exist. Oh, look at that. There's some road over here. Or is that the river? Yes. Let's go back with this guy in the armor again. Oh, that's interesting. So that encounter with my dark self didn't take any time at all. So that's cool. We get the full night still. Shildrick de Parhan. Oh, my good friend, I need thee to ride forth. Yeah, I think I'll do a muffled voice for this guy since he's in a helmet. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear me well enough. The car door opens. Your passenger enters wearing a rather heavy-looking suit of armor. The plate metal clinks as he settles in. The horns seem dangerously close to the roof. Careful with that get up of yours, okay? Where goest thou, my lord? That's what I'm gonna say. Where goest thou, my lord? The knight recoils a little, perhaps in surprise.
Ah, taketh me not for thy superior, for I beat lord to none. Yeah, I am thy humble servant, just as thou art mine. In sooth, since thou askest, ride onward, my friend, to Notre Dame, that most noble of Catholic cathedrals. The jewel of the most magnificent city in Latutia. Ah. Notre Dame de Paris? I start the cap.
Oh, my bad. I forgot to unpress the button there. I'm off to defeat the Knights of Knee. Start the cab. You nod and turn the key in the ignition. You start the cab at last. The vibration of the cab sets your passenger's armor jangling. From time to time, his sword makes a funny humming sound. The ride through Paris continues in silence. The city is just waking up. Delivery trucks, the first buses of the day, and half-asleep pedestrians fill the streets. You feel a yawn creeping up on your spine. I feel like that doesn't make sense because we just started our night, so how are they waking up? We doing day shift? Stifle yawn, yawn? Oh, I guess I'll stifle it? Your muscles tighten to prevent your mouth from opening. Your eyes glaze over. The ride continues in silence. From time to time, your passenger shifts positions, and so does his plate metal. You are nearing the streets around Notre Dame now. The night leans in towards you.
Ah, majestic towers appeareth yonder. What a tremendous sight. Oh, the marvel of it. Just think, it took dozens, scores of years to build it.
He looks out the window as you stop the cab.
My fellowship has cometh.
In the early morning light, you see a gathering of warriors and soldiers, of magicians and witches. What's going on?
My comrades in arms, my sisters and brothers. We're all going to Fontainebleau for 3 days, for 3 moons. We will visit the forests of Brarhoon, the birthplace of Rogral the Rash.
Your passenger is rummaging through his armor.
I know I put my wallet somewhere in here.
He digs around for a minute, pinches a finger,
Ah, damn it!
and eventually pulls out money for the fare. You watch as he tries to remove himself from the cab. First himself bodily, helmet down so as to not damage the roof, next his sword, then with the clattering on the pavement, and lastly his shield, which no longer seems to fit through the door.
Good day, my dear fellow. Fare thee well.
The knight salutes you. You watch him as he joins a group of friends. There are cries of admiration all around. You recognize your passenger with the rabbit ears. Ah, the rabbit ear guy is there. He and the knight greet each other, compliments flying thick and fast. You turn the key in the ignition. Nice. That was a fun one. Who do we pick up next? There's not a whole lot of people even like available. And no suspects. How about Movie Girl? She's nearby, might as well. Never talked to her. Actually, I don't know if I picked her up this story, so we might have to go through her first go round. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it's different. Your next passenger does not simply get in, she throws herself in. Okay, she's doing the hand things. Energetic, lively, chatty, she looks like she never stops. She gives you her address and heaves a big sigh. You start driving. Would you mind putting on some music? Choose a hit, choose a cultural station. Let's go interesting, go cultural. An Ethiopian jazz tune starts up. Your young passenger leans jerkily over to you, then she stops and lets herself go with the music. You like listening to the station every once in a while. The playlist is random, unusual, and surprising. Some of the stuff they play you can't stand. Some of it drives passengers nuts. But there's something magical about discovering new tunes, new styles. All of a sudden your passenger taps you on the shoulder and pulls you from your thoughts. Hey, can I ask you something? She doesn't wait for an answer. Do you think that people have faces that go with their personalities? And by that you mean, yeah, I think so. It's possible. No? I'm gonna say, and by that you mean, well, yeah, you know, when the dudes that look like weasels turn out to be traitors. Or like, the sexy blondes are inevitably superficial. I see what you mean. Like, they wear their personality on their face. It's possible. She pauses. She scans your face like she's trying to determine your personality. I think it's possible. She starts speaking quicker and quicker. I saw a really weird movie tonight. A black and white one. Crazy old. Directed by Hitchcock. This famous British guy. The female lead steals money on the job. She opens her eyes wide. But like $40,000 or something, which must have been a whole lot at that time. So she goes to hide in a motel. The owner is a bit precious. Is that what she said? His name is Norman. So with that kind of name, you know something's wrong with him from the start, right? Norman? Before you can provide an answer, she's moved on. And then she gets slaughtered in the shower with this big knife. Insane! They kill off the main character after, what, a half an hour? There's blood everywhere. Of course you can't see anything. Old movies never show anything. You never even see it when people kiss. Yeah, so anyways, the dude owns the motel, and so he completely looks like a murderer. She goes right there, gets a room, has dinner with him, they chat. No big shock when he slices her up. She pauses. Silence fills the cab. It's like the rest of the story is missing, like your passenger is struggling to say something. And? It reminds me of someone. You experienced something like that? Did you steal money? Why would I ask that question? Did you steal money? Wow, am I missing something there? I'm gonna say he reminded you of someone because you talked about the whole face thing. Well, yeah. I broke up with my boyfriend last night. It wasn't serious or anything, but when I met him right away, I was like, shit, this guy looks like a liar. Don't know why. It's just what I thought at the time. She pauses. When she starts speaking again, her voice is filled with anger. And I was right. He was totally played me. He got some other chick in Villefjouf. It sucks because this guy knows a ton about movies, right? He showed me stuff. Real films. There was one, a mass killer, like in Scream, who murders teens at camp. Like, they're totally getting it on, and there comes a killer carrying a harpoon, and bam! He slaughters both of them in one fell swoop. She giggles. The crazy thing is that the killer is actually some kids, like 7-year-olds or something. So good. Yeah, so this guy I was with, he said he knew people in the industry. He said he could totally help me get an internship or something like that. Total lies too, probably. There's nothing to do with his liars, real pathological ones. They believe all their lies. Can't tell the truth from the lies anymore. Something is not right in his head. Your young passenger taps her thigh. Man, I say some really stupid shit, don't I? Think I'm trying to make excuses for that asshole. You're not far from her place now. She slowly calms herself down. The dude in the motel, in the film? Obviously, he was the murderer. Dressed up as his mom, that he turned into a mummy. Dressed up as his mom, that he turned into a mummy. Okay. She pauses. He was pretty fucked up. She stares at you in the rearview mirror as you park. And you? Who do I look like? Hard to say. Your beard hides most of your face, but you look like... cool. Or, I mean, detached. Yeah, detached. Like the world, everything around us. Like it's not really your place, you know? Like you're just passing through. She flashes you a smile. Don't take it the wrong way, I'm just saying. Detached and cool in a good way. No worries. She looks down. Phew, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. She hands you your fare. Thank you. A second later, she's outside. You watch her walk across the parking lot and up to the doors of her building. Once she's inside, you drive away. Gotta make sure they get home safe. Okay, we got the couple looking for the donor again. We can continue their story. We got the CIA guy. Alright, let's go with the donor couple. We didn't get to do their second story because we got interrupted by the ghost boy, I think. The little ghost boy. Port Marriott. You recognize the two passengers getting into your cab. A few days earlier, you drove them home. They were on their way back from a date with a potential donor. You start the cab. After a moment of uncertainty, they recognize you too. Hey, that's a coincidence. We were just talking about you the other day. You were talking about him, not me. She leans towards you. Lucy was so embarrassed about the conversation we were having, you must have heard everything. Nothing to be embarrassed about. Response sarcastically, just part of the job. I'm gonna say nothing to be embarrassed about. The younger passenger is clearly relieved. Thanks. Sometimes we just forget you're there, and it really wasn't very polite of me. Don't worry about it. She gives you a smile. We just had another date. Speaking of which... Cameo? What? You heard the beginning of the story. He wants to find out what happened. Stop it. You're going to make him feel uncomfortable. Not at all. I'd like to hear about it. Don't worry about it. I say, not at all. I'd like to hear about it. The older passenger begins talking quickly, eyes shining. He's a little slurred. She talks quickly, her eyes shining. She's been drinking. Again. The guy tonight was gorgeous. Extremely good looking, but extremely stupid too. Although not like the last guy. True. It's funny how people can be both dumb and different at the same time. It's almost fascinating, really. Almost is right. They both burst out laughing. I didn't like the way he was coming on to us. In the first place, it's his reproductive cells we're interested in, not his pretty face. It's as if he wanted to get in bed with both of us. As if? No, it's definitely what he was trying to do. He was dying for a little threesome. They exchanged a brief look, can hardly contain their laughter. Still, it's incredible. We had briefed him a little before. He knew that. He knew why we were meeting him. It was all very clear, no innuendos. It was so awkward when he talked about insemination by hand. He called it natural insemination, I think. The younger of the two girls sighs. It's a pity, really. The first guy was too proud to share his genes, and the second was too busy thinking about his dick. And he sure was handsome. Can you imagine if our child gets looks like that? Yeah, but that's not really what counts. Sure, but it does help. Yes, it does, definitely. A pause. Our kid will be kidnapped in 2 seconds flat. They laugh heartily. Another pause. You've almost reached your destination. The older of the two women leans towards you. Do you have any children? Leave him alone. Please. I'm just asking him a question. Do you have any children? No. She seems disappointed, then takes it up again. Would you choose a partner according to the babies you may have together? If you're straight, that is. Her wife rolls her eyes. You can be so embarrassing. Based on the babies you would have? No? Darn, so much for my theory. Her wife leans towards you. Thank you for not engaging. Again, my apologies. Just smile. The younger passenger gives you a tense smile. So what's the verdict on, Phil? That was his name, right? Right, Phil. What do you say? Your partner takes a moment to consider. I like him better than Damien, so long as he doesn't get too bold. I prefer Damien, a perfect idiot, but at least he has a brain. The younger woman screws up her eyes. That's not how I would have put it. You have to admit that Phil does have perfect features. Our daughter will be gorgeous. Our son. Yeah, right, our son. You park in front of the women's building. Or the women's building. Women's? The younger of the two pays the fare. The older woman gives you a wink in the rearview mirror. Come on, just between you and me, what do you think? Are genes and all that such a big deal? Her partner opens her eyes wide. Please, just stop. Come on, you can tell me. There's nothing to worry about. I won't say anything to that woman. That woman has a name. And she'd like you to lay off the poor taxi driver who didn't ask for any of this. She's not bothering me. She's obviously had too much to drink. She nothing. She's not bothering me. I know a couple that had a very hard time finding a donor. Oh, really? Interesting. I think it's like an interesting situation to be in because you can be picky about the genes. You know what I mean? Because it's not for love. Like at that point, you should probably pick the healthiest genes you can, right? I mean, it was the first child and they refused anyone that didn't meet their criteria. Okay, yeah. And I guess, you know, they have the ability to do that, right? So there's probably a lot of donors out there, so you might as well make sure that you get the right one. I think it's like a unique position to be in, like I was saying. Your wife drags her out of the cab. Fine, you win. You're a certified pain in the ass. The younger woman gives her partner a final yank and slams the door behind her. She makes a gesture with her hand, both goodbye and apology. You start the car. Look at that tip. They always tip well. Gotta help out the ladies. Alright, yeah, still no suspects. Alright, we can go with the CIA, dude. Old Milo. You recognize the passenger getting into your cab, an American guy who works for the CIA. He settles into the back seat. His clothes reek of alcohol. You recognize the deep, mild voice and the slight American accent. The stories, too. He's a funny guy, this one. Both reassuring and disturbing. He gives you an address and you, with a heavy sigh, you start the cab. Looks like I made a mess of things again. I said that last time. Silence hangs in the air. Your passenger seems to be formulating his thoughts. You married, amigo? You shake your head no. Got a girlfriend? Another negative nod. That's too bad. Good looking guy like you too, all alone. What a waste. He gazes absently out the window. Americans are like that, laid back yet distant. Maybe it's the booze, amigo, but I can't get this woman out of my head tonight. Man, what a woman. I'm not gonna tell you where she's from, you'll just ask a ton of questions. And if you ask questions, I'm gonna have to lie to you, pal. Oh, hey, what's up, Cedric? You guys raiding with a couple viewers? What's up, guys? How you doing? Monkeys unite. Nice. What is up? How you doing, Zed? Where are you guys playing tonight? Thanks for coming over to hang out, dude. We're actually getting pretty close to solving this mystery. If you guys are interested, just stick around for that. Gotta accuse somebody of murder and gotta see how they're gonna take him down. I hope that's gonna be different than it was last time. Doing okay? Got a huge headache. Oh no! Binding of Isaac. Nice, dude. Nice, man. I'm sorry about the headache, though. That sucks, man. Time to just relax, I guess. Chill out. Hopefully it'll go away soon. Let's see, yeah. If you ask questions, I'm gonna have to lie to you, pal. And with you, I don't want to lie. You look like you're a chick type, a chic type. Is that what he means? I love that French expression. Chic type, a good guy. A far-off look comes over his face. Where is she from? So what's the story? So what's the story? He clears his throat, then falls into a long silence, as if wondering where to begin. It all started in this place in Africa. Between you and me, pal, I really like Africa. People there are more alive, serious. You just need to spend a couple of weeks there. No more than that, and you'll go nuts. You clench your teeth and remain perfectly still. We were working with this minister there, not a chic type like you. A traitor. A real son of a bitch. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, sure, I'm gonna say nothing. He stares blankly into space, wondering perhaps if he's divulging some big secret, and then continues his story. A note of bitterness has crept into his voice. Anyhow, the guy was getting difficult. We had two choices. Either convince him to see things our way, or sabotage his car. That's what makes work in Africa so easy. The cars, I mean. Every continent has its own little quirk, way of getting things done without any trouble. In Africa, it's the cars. So, contacted the minister's family and met his wife. A lady, of course. What about the other countries? A lady, of course. She was so beautiful, amigo. Such a beauty. His voice was slowed, like a worn-out LP. There was this fierceness in her eyes, you know what I mean? An animal spirit. Yeah, a woman, of course. A lopsided grin spreads over his drunken face. She said she didn't like the Americans, preferred the French with their straightforward ways. It made me laugh. When someone dies in Africa, there's always a Frenchman in the picture. Either supplied the bullet, the gun, or the guy who got shot. He runs his fingers along the seam of his jeans. The material is heavy, almost coarse. She was so beautiful. He's gone off to some faraway time and place. You pull up to the address he'd given you, a bar that keeps late night hours. You make out snatches of animated conversation behind the lowered, rolling shutter. Well, then? I loved her. His voice is tinged with sorrow and regret. A love like no other, amigo. No other. What about her husband? We sabotaged his car. It hit a tree at 180 kilometers an hour. Holy crap, dude. Murdered that guy. No, yeah, the mass movie at the same time. Yeah, isn't that pretty cool? Because we're a taxi driver. Yeah, in this game, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, said, but this is all about being a taxi driver who's being blackmailed by a cop into helping them solve a murder mystery of the serial killer. And so you gotta like talk to people and get some info and stuff. So this is just a regular passenger. He's not really a part of that, but there's a lot of like cool side stories from all the passengers that you get to meet. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's really cool. It's called Night Call. I definitely recommend checking it out if you're into that stuff. Or you can just hang out here when we play it. I got one more story we're gonna do after this one. It'll start next week, I think. So yeah, sabotage his car. There wasn't much left of her husband, amigo. I don't know what happened to her. Life there has its own internal logic, you know. All at once, he snapped out of his funk. This bar, amigo, is run by Russians, dissidents from the Soviet era. My boss spent 10 years in the Gulag. Can you imagine? The Russians, those guys really knew how to deal with prisoners. That's where I would have sent that traitor, Snowden. Now, it's the Russians who are protecting him. He breaks off and raps out the window. Drink with communists? Snowden? Is that me saying Snowden? Or I don't know what the arrows are, but we'll go with that one, the question mark one. Anyhow, who cares? He was a traitor, a real son of a bitch. He reaches into his pocket and hands you a tip. You hesitate a moment, then accept the crumpled note. As he exits the cab, he offers his parting words. Not a word about what I told you tonight, okay? His words hang ominously in the air. Not a word to anyone, but this dive. About this dive. Climbs out of the cab, howling with laughter. You sit there for a moment, feeling pretty dumb. You start up the cab. Yeah, Edward Snowden. Yeah, that guy didn't seem to like Snowden very much. Doesn't like whistleblowers. Hate them whistleblowers. Man, no suspects still, dude. Just gonna have to keep picking some people up, which, you know, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that, but not getting clues. I guess we can pick up the masked Joker again and see who he's killed this time. This dude's always murdering people. He's like a vigilante. Every time I pick him up, he's murdered someone, it seems like. I guess we don't really know for sure that he's done it, but it pretty much looks like it. Need a driver now. All right, Xavier. You park in front of a large glass and metal building as huge as it is generic. From your taxi, you can see the entrance. Large glass door, very long reception desk, and a sleeping security guard. You look at the time, glance at your gas and oil levels. Your finger lingers in front of the radio. I'm gonna say don't turn the radio on. You know exactly what's going to happen. You start listening to a song. It won't be very good, but it'll get stuck in your head and you'll be singing it for the rest of the week. You'd rather avoid that. Still no passenger in sight. You glance at the entrance. The guard's still there, fast asleep. He's so far gone, he's slowly slipping off his chair. Ever so slowly. Before he slips onto the floor. Still doesn't move. He's dead. A gunshot in the distance. Another. Then the crackle of a series of small explosions. Windows shatter. Your passenger finally appears, comes out of the glass door without a second thought, and jumps into your cab. Drive. No. Your adrenaline steps on the accelerator. Yeah, someone just died. Well, the security guard was already dead because we thought he was sleeping, but then he just slipped out and fell onto the ground, just limp and dead, I guess. And out comes Xavier. Go, fast. I'm doing what I can. Faster, as fast as possible. And now our getaway car. He lifts up his t-shirt to expose a shoulder bag he's wearing underneath. It's a bomb. He lowers his shirt. A bomb? Yes, a bomb. The kind that explodes and kills people. How can something so small? I'm telling you, it's a bomb. Bombs don't have to be very big, dude. Tonight, you and I are going to save lives. He is eerily calm. He smiles a crooked smile. Need a moment to think. He lays his eyes on you, pauses, and, like an orphan who wants seconds, dares ask. You happen to know where I can get rid of this thing? You don't have a plan? I can panic or don't panic. I'm gonna say, you don't have a plan? No. Well, yeah, I had a plan. Ask you to come pick me up and ask you if you knew where I could get rid of this thing. Yeah, I'm an accomplice. Oh no. Yeah, we're gonna explode some people to save lives? What? Maybe he got the bomb, like someone else planted it and he picked it up. I don't know. Well, let's get the whole story here, all right? Especially since it's going to explode in just a few minutes. How many? I'd rather not say. Tell me now. In 5 minutes. You're quite certain your heart is currently beating at the same speed as a hummingbird's wings. Or rather, in 5 minutes, 1 minute ago. Or maybe it stopped beating. But the good news is that I just had an idea. The scene. The scene? If I throw the bomb to the scene, it won't hurt anyone. You don't think twice and turn sharply toward the river. How long until we get there? It's going to be tight. Okay, I knew you were the right man for the job. He tries to smile. Your reaction lets him know he'd best keep quiet. The light at the end of the street turns yellow. Run the light or don't run the light. Oh. We got a bomb in here, baby. We running that light. You keep driving right through the red light. No other cars in sight. Just you. The guy in back. With a bomb. That was daring. You decide to leave it at that. The street you are on runs into the avenue. No light. No right of way. All good. But at the end, there's a light. It's green for now. You put the pedal to the metal. I wanted to thank you. 50 meters to go, still green. You've been an incredible partner to have. Partner? 25 meters, still green. You drive full speed ahead onto the next street. In the back seat, you can hear your passenger's tiny voice. You know where you're going? We'll reach the riverbank in 20 seconds, at most. You pass a bus in the night. Whatever happens, a bunch of drunk guys cross the street. I wanted to say, you swerve around them. I think that after tonight, one of them falls backwards. I'm done with all this. You didn't hit him, he just had too much to drink. I'm going to stop now. One last turn of the wheel and you're by the quay. And you're on the quay. brake pedal, handbrake, the back door opens, and your passenger simultaneously takes an acrobatic leap out. He commando rolls and stands up in a strange stance like a basketball pitcher. He throws the bomb in the scene. You watch him climb back up. You hold your breath. The bomb touches the water. Half a second later, it explodes. A wave of muddy water pours onto the quay. Your car is now covered in brown splotches. We had 1 second to go. Holy crap. He offers his left hand. You saved our lives. I'm not sure that's true. Oh yes, it is. Listen, I've got to run. It's a bit complicated to explain why, but let's just say, this might seem weird, but the police are corrupted to the core. You try not to burst out laughing. I know. Or, oh really? Oh really? He smirks. It's hard to tell with you. I never know whether you're being sarcastic or not. Here. Another handshake. This time, he slips you cash. Good luck. He starts running. In 3 strides, he crosses a deserted street and disappears down an alley. You grin. A siren in the distance makes you raise your head. You decide to clear out before the police start sticking their noses into your night. Woo, that was cool. Always an action movie with that guy, huh? You know, I've never actually sat and listened to the radio. What if I can get any clues from that? Your finger is poised in front of your car radio. You're trying to find something to listen to. Listen to the news. You happened upon the nighttime news. One of the stories is about a new law being passed to prevent teenagers from using trains to run away. You smile, thinking your teen passengers must be less than enthused to be the cause of all this. As soon as the news is over, you turn the radio off so that the cab is silent again. Okay, nothing there. Well, we tried. Anybody we recognize that we can give a ride to? Just hoping we could get some more stories of people, but it looks like we don't have anybody new. I mean, anybody we've already given rides to, so we'll go with this lady. We got enough for one more. Yeah, this is gonna take up the rest of this last night, and then I believe we're on to the climax, and we're gonna choose who we think is the killer. So it's coming up, guys. Driver, sir, the 16th arrondissement, please. Passenger who's entered the cab makes you feel immediately uncomfortable. Weird. Hard to say why exactly. Perhaps the smooth plastic set of his features? Or his odd appearance, a mad assortment of mismatched clothes. Good evening, good day. His shrill intonations are offensive to your ear. Tell me, good fellow and driver, would you be so kind as to take me to the Rue Perrichon number 96? As he speaks, you can almost hear the deeper accents with what seems like a second voice. Sure. You nod slowly and start the car, casting an anxious look in the rearview mirror every so often. Sorry to bother you and disturb you, but I was wondering if you'd be willing to answer a few short questions and queries. Sorry, I'm driving. No, I wouldn't say nothing. Why not? Thanks for opening up to me and being so open-minded, too. Good day and good evening. Do you think that building roller coasters is a natural thing to do? The question sends you for a loop. It wasn't at all what you were expecting. What? Apologies, sorry. Perhaps my query and question aren't clear. Let me try again. No, it's fine. I understood the question. It's just that I have no idea. Yes, I'd say it's normal. No, it's a dumb thing to do. Why do you ask? Do I? I mean, I feel like I don't feel one way or the other. Building roller coasters. Is it a dumb thing to do? Or is it normal? Yes, I'd say it's normal, or no, it's a dumb thing to do. Normal in what circumstance, I guess, you know what I mean? I'm gonna say I have no idea. It's a pity, and too bad.
question mustn't bother and disturb you, otherwise it won't work. Let's say we try another question. If that's agreeable to you, of course. What's with this guy? Who is he? Good day and good evening. Why have you yet to colonize the satellite you call the moon? He pauses momentarily, and you try to connect the dots. Not you personally, of course, but you as a species. Is it an alien? It's too expensive. And you, who are you? No idea, because there's nothing there. I want to answer this guy's question. No idea, because there's nothing there. The answer wouldn't be because there's nothing there. That's not why we. That's not why, right? It's too expensive would be an answer. Let's go with it's too expensive. It is very expensive, of course, but the potential profits and gains are enormous. His voice has gone up an octave, or perhaps down. It's at once shrill and deep. Just imagine having a breakfast looking down at planet Earth. The beauty of it would make you realize how precious and unique your planet is. Which brings me to my last question and query. Good day and good evening. Why is your own individual freedom more important to you than that of your species and community as a whole? You examine your passenger closely. Not sure I understand your question. Because we're selfish? It's not true. You said it's not true. I don't know what you mean. The world's too big a place to sum up like that. There are some horrible people out there, monsters too. That, of course, you know all too well. But there are good people out there too. If only a mere handful. People who would make personal sacrifices for the good of humanity. Suddenly you're unable to speak, as if the words were trapped inside your throat. Your passenger on the seat behind you gives a dry smile, as if he knew exactly what was going on. Thanks, H. He stops short. He doesn't actually pronounce your name. Oh, he was just a H sound. He doesn't actually pronounce your name, but you seem to hear what he's thinking. Sorry, I forgot. You didn't want that information and knowledge to get out. You absently pull up to the address that he'd given you. Your passenger hands you the fare and then some. Meeting you and making your acquaintance was a memorable experience. Adieu. He exits the cab. You are still paralyzed, but you don't panic. Your body seems to know what's best. You can sense your muscles relax. A minute later, you let go of the steering wheel. The paralysis has ended. You take a look out the side door window. A quiet Parisian neighborhood, utterly uneventful, not as swanky as the rest of the 16th arrondissement. Your customer has vanished into thin air. You sit there a moment longer before making up your mind to leave. The sooner you pick up the new passenger, the sooner you'll forget that guy. And I'm thinking that guy was probably an alien. Just gonna throw that out there. There we go. End of the night. The Angel of Death. You wipe your face. You're starting to feel sleepy. Steps in the hallway, they stop in front of your door, then move away. You crack your knuckles and get to work. Alright. So, I don't know that there's much to look at here. Pretty sure it's Gilda Berger. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I don't know, any objections to that? I don't think anybody's gonna object to that. It's definitely Gilda. If we could have talked to her again, we would just concrete it even more, to be honest. He's crazy. Alright, let's just go ahead and end the night. We're gonna blame Gilda.
and I will be very surprised if we're wrong. The phone rings. You impulsively take a step back. It's the moment of truth. Pick it up. Hello? Hey. Ice cold. So? She heaves alongside. There's no background noise. She must not be at the station. Where are you? I've got a name for you. I'm gonna say, where are you? For a second, you think she's going to tell you, but then somewhere. None of your business. A light clicking noise. The sound of a teacup on a coaster, maybe? I'm listening. What have you got for me? She clears her throat. Her voice sounds louder, more confident. You glance at the wall. The suspects are all lined up. All the evidence, a whole mess of your ideas. Your stomach is in a knot. I don't have to remind you, you cannot get this wrong. I have a meeting in 2 hours with the district attorney and the chief of police. Even the minister of the interior will be in the corner of the room somewhere. Obviously, I'm thrilled. But I certainly don't want to put too much pressure on you. You can almost hear the smirk she must be wearing. You lay the receiver down on the table. Now you have to decide. Not much to decide. It's Gilda, bro. Accuse! You pick the phone back up and explain your choice to Lieutenant Bussett. Why, how, the evidence, your sources. She listens without saying a word. You stop talking and catch your breath. Okay. I'll buy it. Seems like a solid choice. I can fish around a bit to vet your information. She pauses. You can almost hear her nodding. I'll call you tonight. Try to get some sleep. She pauses. No way she's going to hang up on such a positive note. No, she's probably going to. It might be her last night of freedom. She snickers and hangs up. You put the phone down. You might as well be standing in an ice-cold emptiness of outer space. You decide to go to bed, to sleep. Best way to kill time. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You lie down on the sofa bed. Your brain creaks. The events of the day run through your head. The stress, or the streets, the passengers, their faces, the problems. Your brain is running at full speed. Your body aches. You're in pain. You can tell you need to get some more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. You sigh when you think that in just a few hours, it'll all be over. You'll have answers. Bussell will have her arrest. Paris will be peaceful again. But what about you? What'll you do? You shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. And suddenly you're asleep. You open one eye. You had a hard night. Restless. You get the impression you aged 5 years in a matter of hours. You get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside your studio. Alright, Bussett's gonna call. You've barely gotten downstairs when you catch sight of Bussett. She's leaning up against the door of your cab, eyes wide open, forehead creased. Get in. You obey. It's too early to react. She settles into the back seat, flashes a smile. Good news. You're right, or at least the DA thinks your evidence is sufficient. No emotion in her voice. She's giving you the facts, nothing more. We're going to get that crazy lady tonight. She leans to one side, looks away for a minute. We were so busy looking for connections that we didn't understand there weren't any. But tonight it'll be all over. It'll all be over. In about an hour or two, we're going to get her to leave her place. And you will pick her up. What? She pulls some kind of pin out of the pocket and she puts it in the little cubby just above the car stereo. This is a bug. You need a confession? If you feel like it. If you think you can manage. I've seen you and heard you enough to know that you have a trick, a gift for getting people to talk. We think the suspect will try to escape when she realizes something is off. You've already talked to her. She knows you. Earn her trust. Don't try to be a hero. Just bring her to the meeting point and hand her over. She sighs. Two teens walk by the cab and the intense smell of weed fills the cab. Bussett doesn't budge. I know you can do it. If you stick to the plan, nothing can go wrong. What if I don't feel like doing this? What if there's a problem? Understood. What if there's a problem? If you stick to the plan, there won't be any problems. She lays her hand on the door handle. You pick the suspect up, drive to the meeting point, and you're free. Easy as pie. She gets out of the cab, slams the door, and walks quickly away. Shit. 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 You hit the dashboard. Intense pain spreads through your hand. You grab the keys and the ignition and turn. The motor comes on. Your night is about to begin. Your last night. The last night. The final night. Okay, so I believe we're gonna drive one person to their destination first, and then it'll start, or then she'll pop up as a customer. How about we do this guy? You're already familiar with him. He's a columnist, like political columnist, kind of right wing. Or he's pretty right wing, I should say. He's pretty far. Francois? Is that how you would say that? You immediately recognize the next passenger getting in your taxi. You never watch television, rarely listen to the radio, you don't read the newspaper, and yet, you know Francois's face. Pollist, novelist, columnist, politician, too, you think. Your passenger distractedly gives you his address. You start driving. You've really gone too far this time. You raise your head and look at your passenger. I can't believe it. They want to... Have you seen what's coming up into the neighborhood? You shake your head. I'm not familiar with the area. Well, I am. I live here, and every day I see it transforming into a veritable intellectual quagmire, a swamp of bad taste. Over there on the corner was a charming little shop run by a Greek couple. They sold delicious food from their country. Sumptuous grape leaves, creamy yogurt, little baklava covered in mountain honey. And now they're closing. Bye-bye Greek shop. And for what? One of those American coffee shops? Anger pops in his voice. By gum, as I live and breathe. Piss or styrofoam cups. Piss stolen for hipsters for a small fortune. And sure, why not add more cream? Go ahead, add some pumpkin. Fools, ignoramuses. He grabs a notebook and starts madly scribbling all the ideas coming to him. The world is going to pot. French culture is on the brink of extinction. Coffee, pillar of our honesty, our history. Our ancestors who traveled to the other side of the world in search of it. Dead, buried, destroyed, replaced by American plastic water. A great replacement for coffee. He suddenly turns to you. They'll destroy everything, utter baboons, monsters. He gets back into his notebook. I simply wonder what could Sartre have written his best work in one of these chain cafes, these temples of hipsterdom. Could he have written a single line while drinking he nearly reaches as he pronounces the names, or he nearly retches, sorry, as he pronounces the names. Pumpkin spice latte. His English accent is deplorable. Caramel macchiato, strawberry, cream, flat, and white. Blah. What is this barbaric language I am obliged to use when I place my order? And criminy, why is the world must I give them my name? And yet, you say, Francois. N is too long to put on your disposable cups. Catches his breath. The armchairs are too comfy. No author can write slouched in the shape of the extra cream. He rolls his eyes. Not to mention the milk. Almond, soy, coconut. To hell with milk substitutes. New age liberal freak hullabaloo. Harebrained ideas from the environmentally insane. I spit on their hatred for cows. What could be more patriotic than loving cows? He suddenly lifts his head to look at you. There's a moment of silence. He scratches out a line he just wrote. No, pigs. France at its finest, cows. Maronese cattle, The Four Men du Lion. What breeds? You think to see your passengers licking his chops. Ah, yes, the Rouge Flamande. That's the stuff France is made of. A string of drool appears at the corner of his mouth. He's hungry. Not milk substitutes. Not tasteless, sugar-packed coffee. Not Americans. He raises his fist with rage, but abruptly stops himself and starts writing again. The world is becoming outrageously Americanized. The whole planet will soon be a succession of gas stations and fast food joints. I dream of bistros. I dream of true Saint Germain cafes. He grins as he writes his next words. Because what have Americans ever done for France anyway? He underlines the last sentence several times. You watch him. Watch himself in the rearview mirror, so very proud of himself, practically glowing. You're not far from his destination now. In a whisper, he adds, magnificent. The Americans liberated France. Come again? History's not my strong suit, but the Americans helped France during the war, right? His eyes bug out. Yes, of course. They provided logistics and necessary aid, indeed. But did they have to impose their brands on us? Their soda pop and their hamburgers? I mean, it kind of just comes with the territory. We got it, it's just stuck to us. It just, some of it falls off, you know. We're just covering in hamburgers and soda. He snickers. I'm not saying nothing can come from there, you know. His fingers dance above his head. Say, my friend, would you mind stopping here? I have the nibbles, and I know there's a small 24-hour Italian restaurant near here. Please just drop me off. Here, I'll be fine. Sounds like you need a fast food joint, dude. You pull over. He pays his fare and gets out without another word. Watch it. He crosses the street nonchalantly and walks towards an avenue, still bustling at this time of night. From where you are, you're almost certain he just walked into a takeout, New York pizza. You grin and drive off. Of course, he goes to a New York pizza place, which is like an American Italian food place. That's funny. There she is. All right, here we go. Yeah, this is the end, ladies and gentlemen. Kill the Berger. I have to get to Bastille, and it's an emergency. I think I did the high-pitched voice for her. Not super high-pitched, but pretty high-pitched. It's hard to get subtle voice effects, but we'll do it. Here we go. You park a few meters away from your next passenger. Your heart starts beating wildly. You glance at the bug hidden next to your gear shaft. This is the murderer? Yes, this is the murderer. It's Gilda. The back door opens, creaks a little, and slams. The young woman smiles at you.
Good evening, sir.
Her squeaky, high-pitched voice gives you the shivers. You start having doubts. This fiery slip of a girl? A killer? Yet, you think she is, and you have to be careful. Where to? Having a good evening?
Not really. I was just going to bed when I got a call from work.
Her delicate features grow dark for a brief instant. Nothing serious, I hope. And where is it you are going? To the opera, right? I almost feel like mentioning the opera would be nice because then it like lets her know that I remembered from last time. This one's got the smiley face next to it, so I'm gonna go with that one, I think. Nothing serious, I hope.
I don't know yet.
Yeah, you know how the killers love the opera. Yeah, this girl works at the opera. Yeah. Her voice sounds far off, embarrassed, suspicious.
Garnier Opera House, please.
You nod and start driving. You feel a strange tingling sensation on the back of your neck. You glance in the rearview mirror. Your passenger is staring intensely at you. When she starts speaking, her voice is filled with resentment. She looks outside. Her voice suddenly becomes more syrupy.
I almost never see Paris this late at night. We prefer to work during the day. Although, for the scenery crew, it makes no difference whether it's day or night out. But there's a sense.
She pauses briefly. She's listening to the voice.
Yes.
She smiles, more of a smirk really, mechanical, fake. Her hands tighten around the steering wheel. Maybe that's the trick. Keep her talking for as long as possible so she doesn't realize you're not quite going to Bastille.
We can sense when the sun is set, when something's not quite right.
It's the same for me? Oh, really? You've been working there long? You tried to change the subject a little bit. You've been working there long? We'll try that.
For a few years, yes. My father still works there, and we build sets together.
Must take a lot of time. That must be fascinating. That must be incredible. I don't want to be too over the top with fascinating and incredible, so we'll go with that must take a long time. A lot of time.
All day, every day.
You remember Bussett's instructions. Buy yourself time. Buy yourself time.
In some ways, I feel privileged. Who? What?
She suddenly moves in an odd, jerky manner. Her eyes bore into you.
Bussett?
You feel your breath catch in your throat. She watches you.
Who are you? Who is Bussett?
Something in the air shifts in the moment right before a knife appears in her hand. Oh. You spent enough time investigating her to know it's the murder weapon. The scar on your thigh begins to burn. It's Voldemort. You start calculating the rest of the trip at lightning speed. You're not far now. If you manage to keep the discussion going, you might just make it out alive.
Answer me! Who is Bussett?
Yeah, Voldemort, right? Oh, yeah, Anne made that connection last time. What are you talking about? I don't know. A policewoman. I'll say, what are you talking about? It's got the question marks next to it.
Jesus told me Bussett is listening to us. Who is Bussett? Who is Bussett?
You're shaking. I don't know what you're talking about. She's a policewoman. I'll say she's a policewoman, I guess. Yeah, dang, Jesus is good. Hell yeah, he is. That's true. Jesus has a particular set of skills. She's a policewoman.
The police? They know?
The blade shines. There's something about the metal that hypnotizes you. You don't want to feel that pain again. For a second, you consider throwing the car into a ditch. But you're not going fast enough. The impact would be minimal, and your passenger's too close.
Jesus?
She looks lost, far away. You're buying time, second by second.
Jesus said that I shouldn't be scared. That they'd never understand.
I was only asked to pick you up. They made me help them. I've been investigating you. I'm gonna say I was only asked to pick you up. I don't know. Jesus might be good enough to know that's a lie. Oh, sweet Jesus.
Why do you insist on lying?
Tears are forming at the corners of her eyes.
Why?
Well, fine then. The police made me help them. I have been checking up on you. I feel like the I've been checking up on you is the worst thing. You know what I mean? At least if I was like a victim here, but the police made me help them, maybe I'm a little bit more on her side. I'll try that.
They made you?
You nod your head, shaking all the while.
No, I didn't mean to put you in such a state.
Her voice grows deeper, darker, more muffled.
There's no reason to be scared, you know. If I kill you, it will be painless. Jesus tells me where to strike and who to strike. No one ever suffers. He promised me.
Scar on your right thigh says differently. and yet I felt pain. Jesus will put you in jail. You're crazy. I'm gonna say, and yet I felt pain.
Pain?
She recoils.
You're the guy I saw that night. Jesus killed that actress.
Saw?
I had to defend myself. I panicked. Jesus was so angry with me. Wait.
She lifts her head and listens to her imaginary friend. You recalculate the remaining trip time. You'll be there soon. Soon. Yes. Honestly, on that map, based on my Amazon tracking information, I'm gonna say not soon. Just gonna say that.
Do they know about Jesus?
Well, I'm sure they know about him. I'll say I don't know. She sighs and says in a whisper,
They can't find out. They'll think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. Do you understand?
you nod. Yeah, they probably heard of him. Maybe just not heard Jesus. Exactly. Exactly.
Ouch.
She leans forward abruptly. Her voice changes again, becomes harsher. She starts talking to Jesus.
Stop shouting. I can't even hear what I'm saying. Give me 1 second. No. I don't want to listen to you. I want...
She turns to you and the words pour out of her.
Sometimes he... You know, sometimes he asks me to do things I don't really get. At first, I found it weird that Jesus hates people so much. Then, I found out just how horrible people really are. Monsters.
Just a few more meters.
So, I followed the orders he gave me. He told me exactly what to do, step by step. He told me to get the key out of the mailbox. There was a key in the mailbox. He told me where to hide in the shadows and which door hadn't been properly closed. He told me which tendon on the ankle to cut so that they couldn't run away, where to slice so the blood would run and not spatter.
Holy shit, dude. Jesus is crazy. You made it. Her voice resonates in your ears.
He even told me what I needed to leave behind so the police would never find me. Cigarettes, hair. Every night I felt peaceful, incredible. What a wonderful feeling. It's so great to feel useful. When I went to bed that night, I felt so incredibly easeful. So of course I agreed to follow him. Jesus, yes, Jesus. I followed Jesus and I...
At that very moment, you turn onto the street to where the cops are waiting. Headlights come on. The harsh lights flood the facade of the old black church. Your passenger yelps in surprise from the back seat. You hear the knife fall to the floor somewhere between the seats. You brake hard. The back door opens, letting a rush of icy cold air into the cab. You turn around and see your passenger. She's running. Climbing up the steps of the church, you hear her calling for help. Suddenly, she trips and falls, flopping awkwardly like a rag doll. Jesus offed her. Jesus is like, I can't help you telling him about me. It takes a second for you to hear the cops' gunshots, to see the blood and to understand she's dead. Nah, it was the cops, not Jesus. Alright, I got it. Nicely done, for what it's worth. I thought Jesus left everyone, right? That's what people tell me all the time, but this lady's gonna have us thinking differently. What's up with that? The sound of Buzz's voice kind of makes you want to grind your teeth. That chick was so far off our radar, we never had suspected her. But you had to have suspected her because she was one of the suspects you gave me, Buzzard. She's been in your taxi for several minutes now, but these are her first words. I'm not gonna lie, this ended up much better than expected. Much, much better. You keep yourself looking outside, towards the church. Good investigation work. There's happy things, there's evil like things, there's I had no choice, I didn't say nothing. I'll just say the happy things. I was a little bit tougher with her last time. Just something a little different. The cop tosses a smirk at you. You sound like a real asshole when you talk like that. You bite your lip. Listen, we have our statement, we have your number, we have the recording. I don't think we need you anymore. If you could just lay low for a few days, let things settle a bit. She waves her hand around and seems irritated. There's bound to be some nitwit on the squad who will blabber about how you helped us. Journalists might want to ask some questions. Not a word to anyone, you hear me? You feel her disapproving gaze on you. She knows you saw a cop take the knife out of your car. She knows you saw the same cop slide the knife into the killer's hand. She knows you saw the forensic team photograph the body after that happened. Not before. Interesting, so they put the knife in her hand so that she would have had a weapon on her when they shot her, I guess, right? Because she was unarmed. And they shot her in the back. Like, that's pretty rough, man. I think the cops maybe could have done a better job with that. Yeah, dirty police. Yeah, for sure. They can't be completely honest about it. I mean, if we knew this, if we're that confident she's a killer, then I guess it's not that bad, right? I wondered why they shot her, right? Yeah, and that's why I immediately thought it was Jesus did something, because I was like, well, I mean, the cops didn't shoot her in the back, right? Like, no, they did. Okay. This is America? What? That was supposed to be France. Why did you shoot? Yeah, now we can ask her that. Why did you shoot? You know very well she was armed. You sigh. No, she wasn't. Contradict her. That's not true. The knife was still in my cab. She chortles, mocking you. Are you really going to get on my ass because we took down a murderer? Silence. I want to understand. She could have gotten help. Can I leave? How about she could have gotten help? No, she wouldn't have gotten help. She would have been judged mentally unfit and to sit trial, put into an institution, and never really get punished. What about now? When will she be judged? Who the fuck cares? She's dead. We have her confession. We canvassed her apartment, and among the hundreds of Jesus statuettes and various items stolen from her victims, we found enough proof to close the case. She stops, annoyed, then her face relaxes. See, then why did you have to, like, put the knife in her hand and stuff? It's just like because you guys killed her, right? Because you guys did the wrong thing there. Like, you could have tased her or something. I don't know. They just wanted to execute her because they knew. I don't know. It's just weird. This ending is making me want to take a shower. Yeah, really. And to save the French Justice Department €500,000. Hey, you're welcome. Right now, it'd be the best if you went to hell away. Okay, wait, whoa. Right now, it'd be the best if you went the hell away, okay? You nod, overjoyed not to have to see her face anymore. A second later, Busted is in the street, walking towards her colleagues with what seems like a skip in her step. Your head hurts, and nothing like something pounding on your temples, or someone. You start your cab and leave the street. Look at the church. You see Gilda's body under a blanket. They're still photographing the scene. Flashes flood the steps. The church disappears quickly, as does the street and Paris. Oh, that one ended actually a lot more suddenly. Last time we drove off, try to clear our heads or whatever. The last one was wasn't as violent and I don't know, scary, I guess, if you want to use that word. But that was cool. Definitely pretty action packed there. That last little bit, that was a fun little conversation I had to have with Gilda. She was crazy, but how did she know Busted and stuff? What's up with Jesus telling her all that stuff? What is this Jesus thing? She's got a sixth sense, and it's an imaginary friend. So crazy. But that was pretty cool. So you guys ready for the extra hardcore one next week? Well, it's not extra hardcore. I guess what it is it's very dark and twisted is what it says. So I think there's going to be a much more graphic descriptions, I assume is what that means. Yeah, it meant alien and ghost. A mind reader is nothing. That's true. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ann. Is she crazy? Is she right? If she's right. Yeah, if she's right, is she crazy? Yeah, if there must be something, right? It almost feels like if something actually told her about Busted, if something actually told her about all those things that she did when she murdered, then there does seem to be something feeding her information, and it calls itself Jesus, I guess. I don't know, you know, in this world it could be a ghost, and it's just some person, I don't know, being an asshole, I don't know. It's food for thought, I guess, or something to think about. I don't remember if it shows anything after the credits, but we'll see. We'll wait and see. I don't know what that says. Something about detectives? I do not know very much French at all. The sun is about to come up. You drove all night long with your window open. You're so tired, your chest is tight and your eyes are heavy, but you can't stop. Not now. You're going to run out of gas soon. That went on about 20 kilometers back. You're somewhere in Normandy. Maybe they're apologizing to the cops. You pull over onto the shoulder and get out. There's almost no traffic. You step over the guardrail as your eyes adjust to the colorful break of dawn. The sun will soon rise over the horizon. We're making them look bad in the story. Yeah, maybe that it was like an apology to be like, you know, not all cops are bad. This is just for the excitement of the story. Sorry, cops. Are bad. Get your phone out and dial a number. It doesn't ring. Direct to voicemail. A voice asks you to leave a message after the beep. Hey, I wanted to. You catch your breath. When Aide told me she held on to your phone just to hear the sound of your voice, I thought it was stupid. But now, the sun is slowly rising and its colors are flooding the landscape. Bare underbrush, a tiny village lost in fog off in the distance, a hilltop sparkling with dew. The view seems alien to you. I wanted to thank you for giving me the opportunity to redeem myself. Thanks. That word disgusts you, but it's too late. Thanks to you, I did something important. I mean, I think. Who knows? Silence. Your head is spinning. You haven't spoken to your brother in years. Well, in a matter of speaking, you grin. Aid is good. I'm good. Your kids are good. Aid is good? She's doing better. Her business is doing well. She doesn't think about you so much anymore. She's seeing someone right now, I think. She doesn't tell me everything. You pause. A truck flies by just meters from you. I thought when it was all over, I thought I'd be able to get some decent sleep. Close my eyes and sleep. Really sleep. Finally. But sleeping, it's just a break. It doesn't put an end to it. It just starts up all again as soon as the voice cuts you off. You have reached the maximum time limit, please. You hang up. Your phone feels heavy in your hand. What should you do now? There's a broken fence in front of you, leading to a small footpath in the woods. Behind you is a highway leading to the sea. Now we can call the chef lady. Let's call that chef lady. Why not? You dial her number, thinking about your discussion. She picks up almost immediately. Hello? You can hear the commotion in the market in the background. It's Hussein, or Hussein, I don't know how to say his name. She seems surprised. How are you? Is this a good time? Yes, I'm at the Rungus market. Be frank, beat around the bush. I'm gonna be frank. I'm just gonna take a second and call me Frank, alright? Just for a second. I'd like to see you again. You hear her giggle on the other end of the line, or maybe you just imagined it. Noon? My place? You still have the address? Yes. Good. I'll see you then. You're about to hang up and she stops you. Wait. What? Do you like fish? You grin. Yeah. Good. She hangs up. You sigh and retrace your steps. On the other side of the guardrail, you find your overheated cab. The next gas station can't be much further. You slowly turn the key in the ignition. There's got to be something for you out there. Yeah, it's a nice little way to end that, right? I was glad that we went and had dinner with her then, because I don't think we would have gotten that otherwise. Cool. There we go. So next time, yeah, we'll be on, I don't know what it's called. Maybe we can click into this and see what it's called for a little sneak peek for next week. Eater fish, I think I see what you did there, Shyla. All right, so yeah, next time it'll be the Sandman. And I don't know what a surprise investigation or a random investigation. I think that would just augment these a little bit, these main ones. But yeah, the Sandman will be next. So that'll be next week. It says the victims may feel random at first, but there's a connection. Yet the motives might be hard to find. Dark and twisted case. The angel of death was described as random victims, unknown motive, weird case, slightly more difficult than the others. It didn't really feel very difficult. Maybe we just got the exact right clues. Maybe I was just like stumbled in all the perfect clues that really would point it to Gilda. I don't know. Or maybe it was just the fact that she's so crazy. All right, guys. Well, that calls it for tonight. That does it for tonight, guys. Let me see. We get a little chill out music. We'll go over the sketch. All right, yeah, so tomorrow's not Red Dead, no, that'll be Thursday. Thursday's Red Dead. Tomorrow will be Pokemon Snap. And then next Wednesday, I was gonna try a game Anne was telling me about called Outer Wilds. So I think I'm gonna start that next Wednesday, and that'll be the Wednesday game after Pokemon Snap this week. So yeah, snapping it up. And then Thursday we'll have some Red Dead, so that'll be cool. I feel like we gotta be approaching the end in Red Dead. I mean, not too close. I think we still got a few streams left. It's a pretty long game, so I think we're still good. But it seems like we're getting somewhere in the story, so that's pretty exciting. And then on Friday, it'll be Nier Automata. We'll be starting Automata, the sequel to Replicant, which I just finished last Friday, and we watched some of the endings for last night. And yeah, I'll be working on that. I'm glad Red Dead so long. Yeah, Red Dead it's a great game. Just period. It's amazing. It's a great cowboy kind of simulator game in a way. It really gives you that like atmosphere and environment. It's pretty sweet. But yeah, Automata should be really cool. Yeah, I'm working on the last ending for Nier Replicant. So I'll try. I was thinking maybe I could try to have that queued up for Friday. And so maybe we could start the stream on Friday with Nier Replicant's final ending. And then move into Automata right afterwards, because it should only be like I really don't know, but maybe like an hour of gameplay I'm hoping for the ending. So the first hour of the stream will be that ending, and then we'll start Automata from there. So anyways, yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. Oh no, Stella passed out. Well, you should definitely watch the end of that thing there. Yeah, watch the VOD. Definitely watch the VOD. It's a really good ending. I thought it was really cool, so I think you'll like it, Stella. Especially like the little bit there at the end was pretty cool. So yeah, all right, guys. So yeah, we'll catch you tomorrow for some Pokemon Snap. So come hang out. It should be fun. And yeah, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. See ya. Yeah, Jesus, man, Jesus. Yeah, some crazy Jesus stuff in this, Stella. So be ready for that. All right, see you guys. You have a good night.